It
It's
is.
not
No,
that it's
that's true.
difficult to cook.
It
It's
just
the fact
burns
that
easier
you
than
can't.
pasta, so people burn it more often.
You guys have a lot of knowledge about rice, probably too much.
It's not that it's difficult to cook. It's that it's one of those things that you can't be like, I'm gonna start this and do something else for 10 minutes.
Oh shit, I do that all the time. Anyway,
Well, you're part of the problem.
I guess I got good food instinct. That's probably all I have. I usually know pretty much when it's done. I just look, yeah, there's no more water. I'm good.
Ooh, I like the intros.
Oh, there's intros going on now?
Yeah, I
Did
didn't
you
know
get
that there was
updated?
those.
They need to be modified. They've been modified a lot of times. Modifying it becomes painful after the 8th modification.
Sure.
But it's still like new content, right?
I have a rule
And
now.
you can reuse them.
You have to make it 3 sessions to get into the intro video. So some of you I need to add after this session, I think.
I like that threshold.
Yes, Melda's not in there.
There's some people that are in there that shouldn't be too. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's gotta come on.
Ragnar mini morphs are about to come online.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Bam.
On that morph game.
Switching to non-combat
All my hard
Ragnar
work.
right now.
Dude, I went absolutely insane on Hero Forged over the past few days. I think I made another 40 minis.
What?
Dang.
Wow.
You can really see
Yeah,
the skull.
I did something kind of similar. But that was for like a backup character for this game if like Imelda dies. I don't want her to die, but the backup character is kind of cool, so.
Well, it's good to be prepared.
Oh, I got.
Imelda seems pretty powerful, so you should be good.
My issue with Hero Forge is like, all right, John had a particular vision with his character, but he's having a hard time making it, so I made it for him. Then I was like, it'd be cool if I made some zombies. You know what else would be cool? If I made some samurai. You know what else would be cool? If I made a pirate. You know what else would be cool? If I made a detective.
Yeah.
You know what else would be cool? If I made a monk.
Only I knew how to play a monk.
And then 2 days later and 40 minis.
Yeah, 2 days later, you're like completely soloing every encounter, and your turn like never ends.
By the way, guys, speaking of second characters, don't forget that what I told you. Until I'm level 14, nobody gets Revivify. So be careful.
What are you talking about? I have Revivify.
You do?
Druids don't get it.
Well, my kit does.
Ooh.
Okay.
But we need diamonds, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to bother preparing that spell.
The good thing is it's kind of hard to...
Yes, I'm not dual classing, so I have the spells. The 3rd level spells.
The good thing is it's kind of hard to die in 5e.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, right.
You have to be Molly fucking Watch in order to get killed in 1 hit.
Yeah,
like Molly motherfucking your hit points in
or
negative.
You're just level 2 or lower.
You have to go negative your full hit point pool in 1 hit to die instantly.
All right.
Hey, it's actually light out.
Otherwise, it just counts.
Ragnar
as
doesn't look
zeroing
really
you
green.
out.
He looks.
However,
it is
if the bad guys want
definitely not light out.
Never
try and
light
give
out,
you some light so you can see your character, and right away you have blurred out and it's light out right now. God damn it, John!
Hey, didn't he say it's still technically?
It's all right. I will cover.
Checking out the other minis while I can get a good look at them.
I'll cover you in darkness. No, it's too hard to see anything to make it look like real Barovia, so I have to give you some like actual game sunlight. You just pretend there's no sun, okay? Because there's going to be specific points where sun may be important in the campaign.
Sure.
That makes perfect sense, but the lighting looks right for me.
I mean, to me, it just looks like the moon is out right now.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
looks
Good,
like what
good
should
answer.
be usually night.
Hope all of you are slowly developing a keen ear for my sarcasm too. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, sorry about that. You
Important.
wished us there.
An important thing.
Arok. Dapper. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, incredibly.
Tarok looking straight fire right now.
I am here to charm
Alright,
and
don't
chew
charge him that
bubblegum,
much,
and
'cause
I'm all
Spider's
out of
already turned
bubblegum.
up to 11.
Well, for the sake of I guess gameplay here, we are officially live, and you guys are at the resting point. It is still nighttime. You have yet to lay down for your first rest of the night. You have secured a place to stay. Correction to that, Ismark has laid Irina down, and he's now outside smoking a pipe.
That's
Of
cool.
the corn cob variety.
Does Irina still look like she's having bad dreams?
She seems restless, certainly, but at least for the moment, her eyes have closed. You no longer see the whites of her eyes, or lids of her eyes are closed and shut. She shudders every once in a while and shivers as her lip quivers, but that's a lot of rhymes that I didn't intend. I apologize.
It worked.
It's like poetry.
Yeah. You need to make a haiku or something.
I'm not doing it.
So Corvus is going to occupy himself pretty much the entire 8 hours. The first thing he's going to do is do a super short rest for 2 hours, so that he can add the spells, 2 lesser restoration spells to his spell book, so he can use. So he'll wake up after his 4-hour reverie, and then he's going to use his lesser restoration to try and help Irina. And then after that, he'll move on to Kragnar, who I assume is sleeping by now, which is after like
yeah.
5 hours
Yeah,
of
he's
us
crashed.
being here.
Kragnar is crashed. Kragnar down. Not down.
Yeah. I assume at that point, Kragnar's probably sleeping. So,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
like after 4 something hours, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
And
at that point,
he'll
part
take
of
some
me
time
wait.
over Kragnar's sleeping body to perform a detect poison and disease ritual to try and see what's going on with Kragnar. And then, like regardless of what really happens, I'll just use my second lesser restoration on him just to see if it helps anything that's going on with him. And then I will put my spellbook the way I want it, and then take my 4 hours rest. Okay, I'm done.
Nice.
Just because I'm the DM and I can, as you sleep in the night, you rested your spellbook on the edge of the table to where it's just slightly askew and it falls off, disturbing your sleep in the night.
It's a nice F you right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've walked into Dan's room in real life and done something similar to disturb his sleep.
Mhm.
So it's only fitting that I do this to him in the game. No, I'm just kidding, Danny. That doesn't happen to you, of course.
That wouldn't really. I mean, would that really screw up your? I don't know.
It
Maybe.
might. It might if someone was a dickhead, but I'm only that 30% of the time. Give me just one moment. I'm processing
I
some
was just trying
DMs.
to efficiently use the time I had available.
Well, you just did such a good job. I was like, how can I throw a wrench in his plans? As a DM,
Yep. No,
you know,
I get it.
you spend most of your time, like laying tracks for the players to try and mess up. So all of the things that you do that are cool, the players ultimately are like, all right, we're gonna negate that by doing this,
We
this.
walked right into your rat infested hovel. So good thing it wasn't vampire
We
infested.
absolutely did.
It happens. It happens. I mean, it looked like a nice place from the outside. Perhaps a Ramada Inn.
And then also the guards laughed at us when we walked to it.
They're awfully rude too. So that that could have meant anything.
Yep. It was,
Hey,
I passed my intelligence save. Otherwise, probably not even getting into Vallaki today.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'm sticking with.
Kragnar will sleep. He sleeps.
Anybody
And
else
then-
doing something?
Imelda stays up for the first 4 hours, and she wants to do a few things.
Oh, you can go ahead. I'll do some RP
Yeah,
with.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was kind of in the beginning of it, like she was kind of up against a wall on the opposite side of Noctur, and probably like close to Cragnar, where he settled down for the night. And she has this necklace with a gem on the end of it hanging, and she's kind of peering at it while what appears to be like a looking glass and looking through it, and then also looking, kind of glancing in the direction of Noctur. And her like eyes go a little bit wide and her mouth kind of opens a little bit. I don't know if Noctur is asleep at this point.
So yeah, after having like magically swept out all the bullshit and disappointing Kragnar because he wanted to do it with his broom, Artemine has that weird moment outside where he seems like he's speaking to someone and plays it off really not so smooth. Her looking glass betrays the air of what is actually going on for him, in that he is haunted. You guys can't see it, but there's a ghost in the room that's just eyeballing him with a mean mug the entire time.
Yes. So.
And does everyone else? I guess at this point where I'm kind of looking at it, is anyone else awake?
I would be.
Most likely Corvus would be, yeah. I haven't finished my spell work yet.
No, but Kragnar's shadow hair trap still remains in the corner.
Okay. Well, she's wary of that corner. She's gonna like stand and kind of have her like looking glass like kind of close by as she walks closer to where Noctur is. Does like the ghost react at all to her coming closer?
I would say not really. It's not so much like a actual spirit in the sense of what would be able to interact with the world. It seems to be more bound to him.
She's still gonna try to interact with it because I don't think she would know this.
Does it?
So she's gonna.
Sorry, quick question.
Yeah.
Does it appear to be like a shadow or something like that?
No,
Like
looking
creature
through
of a
the
shadow.
gem. Looking through the gem, it is a translucent blue, badly burned elf.
Mm.
Okay.
And everyone who's awake gets a glimpse of this.
No,
If
just
you
me.
look, if
Okay,
yeah,
she got it.
and if she offers to let you guys look through it, or
Okay, she's got like a
you in
scrying
on
device or something. She's
So like
peering
you don't
into.
know what's
I was
kind
just
of
trying to
going
be
on.
clear.
You just see her reacting to something. I'm just trying to find what he said. What did you call it? Like, oh, a shadow hair. And she kind of mutters, "Shadow hair, my butt." And she's gonna go closer to it, and like she's gonna try and like put a hand on the person's shoulder and like ask them, "Are you all right?" Like talking to the spirit, like very concerned. Does it do anything?
No, you're like, your hand would go through it and it's staring through you. Like, and if you were to stand in between it and Artemine, it'd be like you aren't even there.
Well, that's interesting. She kind of backs up, puts away the looking glass that she had, and kind of goes back to the wall that she was at before, like looking very perplexed. And then she also, at some point, wants to detect magic around Irina just to see if there's like a spell over her.
By the way, at this point, I've already cast Lesser Restoration on her, so I'm not sure
Okay.
if that will affect your results.
Oh, I don't know. Does it? Yeah.
I was just waiting for a moment to hop in there. Let's see here. So it would, most certainly. And being that you already did that, Dan,
Nothing to detect.
no, I'm not gonna say that. That's not
Ooh.
that's not how this game works. You cast detect magic, and I tell you if anything happens afterwards. But yeah, you cast lesser restoration prior to you having this opportunity to do that, Imelda. So bear that in mind before you do so.
That's fine. It just costs her 10 minutes of kind of looking silly.
And I guess I won't do it.
I bet Imelda
and-
looks cool when she.
And I also spent 10 minutes looking silly to use Detect Poison and Disease as well.
I think she already.
And I take a look at both Kragnar and Irina.
Okay, then
we couldn't see.
yeah. So then she kind of like looks at the people that are still awake, and she's gonna look at them and say, "Do any of you know anything about ghosts?"
Corvus looks over to Artemine and kind of shakes his head and sighs and says, "That can't be good." But Corvus looks over to Imelda and inquires about the strange looking glass she just used to somehow, seems like, force this projection to show itself.
And
Well-
would just have been staring at you already and ask, "What do you want to know?"
Well, I guess for the looking glass, and she kind of like pats at where it's in her pocket. Well, that was my grandfather's. He gave it to me before he passed. Like I told Kragnar. And it sort of helps me see what's really there. And when I saw what knocked her, when he talked about the shadow hair, because I never seen a shadow hair before, so I was really curious. And then I just saw something else, like a burnt elf spirit ghost thing, and it's following him around, and it's giving him like death stare, like intense death
Most
stare.
interesting. Well, as you well know, elven culture is quite ancient and quite extensive. There are any number of strange and spiritual afflictions that could be affecting him. And of course, his presence in this place could just be exacerbating existing problems.
And as far as the spiritual world goes, the ghost is most likely someone he's interacted with in his past.
Well, I
Well-
mean, I should think so if it's giving him death stares.
Well, at this point, the true fear would be whether or not it's able to possess him.
Should we talk to him about it? I just don't want him to think I was spying on him, you know? Like, what
Yes,
if he
and I
just doesn't
also-
want people to know about it?
Well, I'm a little more worried about whatever this spirit is possessing him at a critical moment.
I guess.
Artemine, at this point, he's been in the trance for a while. So you guys are like having like a hushed conversation, like
Yeah.
around him.
Yeah, and if your spirit is truly watching, it would be hearing everything too.
Yeah. So, assuming banter and chatter like that goes until people start falling off asleep. Imelda standing the first watch. After 4 or 5 hours is when Artemine would jolt awake with like the hard yelp, like a and
Yeah, and like if it's 5 hours, Imelda's definitely given the second shift to someone else. because she needs 4 hours of meditation.
Corvus as well. He spent his first 4 hours using natural recovery and blah blah blah. Preparing.
Yes. He spent about an hour prepping the site and then went to sleep while for his 4-hour trance. Woke back up in the 5th hour of our 8 hours and assumably woke people up.
Ismark could also take watch.
Well, I was
Before
going
you-
to say before this, after the conversation, I'd probably step outside with Ismark and set my arm on his shoulder as not to startle him.
And try as though you did. It seems as though you fail initially, as his shoulder gives just the slightest bit of a twitch in retreat away from your touch as he turns, and then he apologizes immediately. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not notice. It is a pretty night, is it not? He looks
One
out
of the
onto the
better-
landscape of Vallaki.
One of the better that I've seen in quite some time.
Perhaps it is a good omen.
Perhaps so.
I was rash earlier and crass towards all of you. Irina is the only thing I have left in this world. You must understand, the only thing that matters to me is her safety. The thought of her as dead weight simply enraged me. To me, she is all I have left to live for in this cold world.
I understand more than you may know. One of my last memories before being killed is of my daughter. I do not know her whereabouts. It's one of the reasons I'm traveling with these people is an attempt to find her along the way. So I know what it is to care for someone like you do. And your brashness is understandable. But I feel as though we'll be able to find a solution to what ails her within the walls of the city.
Your daughter, is she a young child?
She would be 12 years old tomorrow.
And you say she has gone missing?
I do not know where she is now.
A child of this age, missing in Barovia. He kind of clicks his tongue behind his teeth a bit, tisking, and I will pray to the morning Lord for her, Erin. I will pray for her return to her father.
Aaron just kind of stares and nods his head, an obvious appreciation of the gesture. But the look on his face says he knows that she's probably no longer around.
The look on Ismark's face matches this, and though he tries his best to mask it, the sheer reality of this land disallows anybody from hiding from these facts.
Oh, I
And-
know what the truth might be. I will not stop looking for her.
And that's at that moment that Turok just plops down right next to you two guys. He goes like, "Well, this is some pretty gloomy talk for a dark night, I see." He gives a side look at Aaron. He goes like, "I heard you talk, buddy. Don't worry. I think all of us here are gonna keep hope with you and just look. You don't have to worry about that. You're not alone here."
Oh, also, you guys see luminescent butterflies just flittering around Imelda.
And when Tarok joins the conversation, I wouldn't turn my head. I would just move my eyes over to him. And after his statement, I would nod to him in an equal appreciation.
Hmm. All right, now, Brother Ismark, let me ask you. Let's say we find a way to help your sister. What's your plan after this?
You know, I figure Vallaki is a safe place to settle down for a little while. There is supposedly some lady who rents space here to live, though I've heard some interesting rumors. At any rate, I do have skills as a farmer, and I could possibly look to see if I could get a job here locally, working on one of the farms as a farmhand.
Mm. That is one noble purpose. Is I've heard any of them. That's very good of you. You're a good man. We're happy to have brought you here. And hopefully we definitely find a way to help your sister and maybe find a daughter as well.
If all such things happen, perhaps I can truly recant my statements from before. I have doubted my lord, doubted his redemption. Such things have caused me, I think, my fate now. He looks down at the floor. You really think at this point, hearing this, that Ismark probably does blame himself for everything that's happening to him? Strictly from the thoughts and lack of faith.
Well, my friend, you know what? I'm not much of a man of faith myself. But what I know is that as long as you keep some flame of hope, any God is going to understand that you have a good heart. And he's going to be good to accept you afterwards.
You are kind, my friend.
Well, just trying to have a nice little conversation before sleep. You guys were getting dark there, but I understand.
May you pass into your dreams with better thoughts, Terak.
Hey, I'll be fine. No worries about me. My dreams stay all in my head. Also, I found a bunch of clothes in there. I think I'm going to try them out.
Ismark raises an eyebrow to this, but simply turns, heads out the doorway that he was standing in, and stands right at the entryway, on guard for the night.
Tarek's going to go in there, flip some spiders off the clothes, and gonna look at them and go like, "Oh, this is going to be good," and just get stressed.
Anybody who's sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, anybody who's awake inside the building right now too would see Irina is now resting peacefully. She's breathing at a normal pace.
Nice.
She looks to be calm and at peace. She's no longer shuddering or shivering or doing any of those ivering words that I said before. She's just peaceful like a child. In her full plate armor.
Only she can break that. None of you.
Tarak goes to sleep.
Somebody
Do we
needs to
die?
add better armor.
What do you mean? Sounds like he's dying.
Guys wake in the morning to find your breath still goes in and out normally as it did before. That soft thumping underneath your chest seems to still be there. However, your mind is no more clear than it was from the moment that you entered through those mists.
All right.
So
when
in the
Ragnar gets up,
morning-
he's going to go.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say he gets up and heads over to the shadow hair trap. Looks somewhat disappointed and collapses it and puts it back into his bag. Begins getting ready for the day.
As Artemine begins to notice that everyone is waking up and packing up camp and everything, I'm sure no one's really hiding it. Their unease about his presence and what they all witnessed. He kind of stops in like the middle of everyone and says, "The unease in this room is palpable. I should like to prefer my sincerest apologies for my raucous eruption yestereve in order to prove my capability to grasp the threads of my matron's infinite darkness. She resolved to grate me with despair, and ever since my delves into my own unconscious, they have been restless."
Somehow, that seems fitting. Not really seeing how, but I'm sure it is.
What did he mean?
Let's just
Yeah.
say he's
And,
an
like,
elf
Imelda
that strayed
kinda, like-
quite far from the Seldarine's light, and Corvus kind of just looks at you disdainfully.
And like Imelda kind of like goes into like Ragnar a little bit and whispers, "I have no idea. Just smile."
Toothy grin from Ragnar.
Tarak's just gonna nod next to Imelda, going like, "It's better." Like,
He looks at half of you guys giving him a blank stare and one of you guys giving him death eyes and kind of sighs. "I have terrors not of my own doing, and for a contract not of my own making, but of my bloodline. Yet I pay the price for my forefathers' sins."
Oh, was like following you, you know, that shadow hair, and she puts like quotation marks around those words.
Yeah, he kind of puts his forehead in his palm for a moment. "I apologize for my attempted deception. It was very poorly conceived indeed. You seem to have been able to bear witness to what I thought could not be bore witness to. The
Corvus, oh sorry, if you're,
the
he wanted to ask if your forebears were warlocks.
no,
I know that
No.
seemed random. Sorry.
though I could understand why you would think as such, no. My great-great-grandfather was a general in the Raven Queen's army. You may have heard of the Shadar Kai. Well, through deception and trickery, my great-great-grandfather passed himself as a high elf and bore progeny against the Raven Queen's will.
Needless to say, she found this out, huh?
Fooling a god is quite the tepid deception, one often found in failure.
Indeed.
And the sins
And
of the
as such-
father are paid by the sons.
Oh, Ragnar understands that.
Oh, good job.
Ragnar chief. Kind of
So
mean,
then,
cruel.
the person that is following is your great grandfather.
Unfortunately, the night that my bloodline was exposed to me was a mistake of my own hubris. My town was caught in this mistake, and now I bear the souls of all those who tasted unknown power and perished.
Was it because of the fire?
He, as you say, like ask this question, he draws his rapier and says, "Indeed, the same blue flame that inhabits my blade and my soul is that which took the life of so many of my kin. I have been paying for that ever since." So now, to answer your question, it's not directly related to him, but a member of his village who got caught in the literal crossfire between
Okay.
a pissed goddess and the descendant of the one who defied her.
Ooh, how
Well-
Irina feeling today?
Tired, but better. I don't know why I feel like a little kid again.
Oh, wait, you're awake now. Excellent news.
Also, could I go outside and cast Druidcraft to like make a bunch of flowers bloom and then make her a little flower crown?
There's absolutely no chance of me saying no to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do that.
Man, that's even better than what I did.
And then I plop it onto her head. There.
She
It's
sort of
beautiful.
looks at you a little bit drunkenly, like smile on her face, and you haven't really seen this side of Irina yet. And for those of you that have been with the group a little bit longer, I think that's probably the first time you've seen like a natural smile fall across her face. I mean, she's politely smiled at you, of course, but this is, something you're able to probably believe her words pretty easily. She feels like a kid again. She looks like a kid again. The whimsical look about her as you place this crown of flowers atop her head.
Is she actually a kid or is she like a woman?
She's a woman and still a very beautiful
Okay.
one. But she just, when I say she looks like a kid, have you ever seen that gleam in someone's eyes when they come across a piece of nostalgia or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Bearing that resemblance on her face.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify if like Strahd was like a pedo or something, you know?
Oh boy. No, I try and avoid those areas because they make me feel
Okay.
icky.
Please
That
do.
makes sense.
Turok's going to bring a bit of food to Irina after she got the flowers. You go like, "How are you feeling? I'm betting you're probably starving after a few days like that."
Oh, yes, I could eat a whole horse, I think.
No, take it slow. Take it slow. You were down for a while. Where'd your brother over there? Kind of nods towards Ismark.
Well, hopefully they'll. Sorry.
Ismark's just standing cross-armed, just staring intently at Irina, and there's not a smile on his face, but there's perhaps a hint of one behind the grimace that is resting there permanently. Ismark has resting bitch face, I just realized that.
resting dick face.
Yes.
Exactly. I feel like dudes, dudes can be bitches too, and to women's, defense probably more often than women.
Yeah,
That's true.
but he's
Very
lived a
true.
hard life and had a lot of bad stuff happen, so it can be excused. Also, that's
Yeah,
usually
like-
kind of a natural feature anyway.
I feel like Aaron also has this face.
Yeah, Aaron and his Mark have a brotherly resemblance about them.
Terok's gonna mimic Ismark's voice and gonna be like, "I'm happy to see you're awake," using his accent and all his whole voice. That's how you do it, buddy.
Sort of shoots Terok like a look of momentary resentment, and then you see that grimace on his face just break for just a second and slip to a crook of a smile at the corner of his mouth, and then resumes his normal resting dick/bitch face.
All right. Now, are all the confessions done for the morning?
Well, I just have one sort of question.
Go ahead.
What well, two actually. First is I know that we're not allowed to, use magic in this town, but why?
That was the subject I was going to go into. Terok just leans against the kind of a box, big wooden box in the house, and goes, one thing I've kind of hit on a bit earlier is I'm actually a bit around from these parts. I'm not directly from the middle of Barovia, but my village was on the outskirts of this region. And we've been trying to get rid of the darkness for quite a while. At least the organization I'm part of. It's called the Night Guard. Seek more confessions this morning. It's just never ending. Do you see? The big thing I want to say is Vallaki is the city under siege constantly from many different things. And one thing you have to understand is when you're constantly in a state of battle against the darkness, fear tends to grip the heart of the most brave person. And it's easy then to blame others for your own misfortune. And it's probably why magic is definitely not welcome in this town. So what I will say is, unless absolutely necessary, do not, and I mean that, do not use any magic in this town. It will avoid us a lot of trouble.
So I can't even use magic to make like a flower crown?
Not even a flower crown, as sad as that is.
Oh. She looks very disappointed.
You look like a flower already. You're all good, girl.
But it's not the same.
Surely there is some official whom we might be able to organize permission and authorization to use our capabilities in the defense of the plane.
The most highest ranking
the
official.
problem isn't bureaucratic.
Like what if someone has like a really bad fart and I just need to make it not smell like a fart, like maybe just like like the wind of an autumn breeze or something.
In
Terok's
Vallaki, I think they're okay with the smell of farts, so long as they are able to keep their noses and heads attached to their body. The Baron has been known to behead those who break his rules.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Now I'm curious. What did you think I was going to say?
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say like he's known for his really bad farts.
Well, he's known for that too, but we don't talk about that.
Terok makes a
Imelda, you're
Terok's
about
gonna
to be in for quite a lesson in human nature here.
Terok makes a fart noise, like a very real sounding fart noise, and just cackers at it.
Okay, that is it. Time to go into Vallaki.
I
Given
think
the
yes.
rules of the town, it would probably not be wise to openly mock the Baron.
No. Of course. No worries about it. I'm not going to make any fart noise over there. at least voluntarily.
Some people
Yeah,
had
so-
requested their reading from me too, and not to break you guys up from this real quick, but I just wanted to say I'm gonna put that in notes for everybody right now and then pin it. I know that stuff can get lost pretty easily, so if you were looking for an opportunity to read your reading over again, for those of you that got one, it is in notes.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Speaking of,
There was
Oh.
multiple requests for that.
I'm gonna make a loop talk.
Oh,
Down this
and as
way.
they're walking to it, she's gonna ask the party, do you think, or like maybe like Ismark, maybe a bit more, do you think that they'll be friendly to elves?
You know, I don't think anybody in Vallaki has problems with elves per se.
Well, that's a relief. Then again, the guards didn't try to hack us to pieces on sight, so that was encouraging.
Well, I thought it was because it was dark out and they might not have the best dark vision.
That is true.
They don't like outsiders at night. Same is true in Barovia.
Yeah, we probably should follow the same rule, honestly.
Hopefully, they will be more accommodating in the daylight.
I hope
All
so.
right.
Perhaps maybe we let Imelda go first. Irina too?
What?
At least, hopefully, they won't be terrified of their own shadows.
Well, we might as well show our pretty flowers to the guards. Might let us have some easy way in, definitely.
My thoughts exactly, no offense to the women of Vallaki, but sometimes they are confused with the men of Vallaki.
Oh,
Vallaki a
But do
hard
they have
place to
beards?
live. No, they just not winning any beauty pageants over here.
oh, so what are like like that butter, like that like melts the toast? I'm sorry.
Like Vincent van Gogh, look nice from far away, but when you up close, all fucked up.
No, I
you,
mean
you
like
know how
me and
humans
like
are, Imelda.
Irina. Like, are we like the offering, or like are we the horse before?
We definitely honeypotting you right now.
All right. I
Did you
had
just-
to make sure what role I was playing.
Just know, I offer my sister up as well as honeypot. I will let nothing happen to you, and if any of these guards touch you, I will remove their fingers first, but perhaps their nails to give them something to think about before the fingers.
Do you mean honey trap?
Well, I don't know what I mean. You know better than what I mean, apparently.
Well, Kragnar doesn't.
No.
Did you just
like,
say butter that
I want
melts the
honey.
toast?
Where honey?
Just to give you an example, Imelda, basically you're just the pretty flower. You're the pretty flower that we're showing in front of the eyes of the guard, while the hands are going in the back pocket and picking a few coins.
So wait, so who's giving him the coin?
Oh no, we're taking the coins.
Wait,
Maybe.
you're
We'll
taking the
see.
coins?
Who knows? We'll see what happens. And he just saunters off.
She looks very confused and perplexed as she continues to walk forward.
Aaron just kind of mutters to himself, butter that melts the toast.
Off in the distance, you hear, "Yar, town this way."
All right.
And before we get close to the gate, she's gonna cast one last time druidcraft to put like a little blooming flower into her hair and tuck it behind her like ear.
Pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
That's like the corsage for homecoming.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
that the final touch.
Throw guidance and friends in there as well.
You make it up to the gate, and when you do, you find that there is, in fact, a different guard standing there in the direct portcullis or portway, I guess we'll call it.
No, that was perfect.
He's noticeably different because he has stark blonde hair and just like a beautiful blonde beard. It's very well manicured, and his eyes are these brilliant blue, just we'll say sky to ocean blue eyes. Quite mesmerizing. A handsome fellow, if I do say so myself.
Durak's gonna roll his eyes looking at him and go like, so much for the ugly Vallakis.
I said the women were ugly.
The women.
So,
Wait, like is like
Durak-
he like up on the gates, or is he like by the door?
He's like, his face is like pressed up against the portcullis, kind of like the small children looking at through like a mall window at a toy that they've been envying for a while. And that's what he's looking at you and Irina like as you guys approach, and as you make it up to him, I think he suddenly realizes that his jaw has become slack. He uses his palm of his hand to put it back into place, and then promptly says, "Hey, good evening. How? I'm sorry. How may I help you today?"
Oh, well, good morning. Well, me and my friend, she kind of gestures to Irina, and then also my other friends, she like kind of gestures a little bit to the people in the back, way in the back. We were looking into like perhaps seeing your beautiful town, and perhaps trying, perhaps for the first time, your beverages.
You want to visit Bluewater? You coming for festival?
Oh, there's a festival? Oh my gosh, when?
Oh, when is there not festival? I mean, that we love all of our festivals. Every one, he says, looking around over both shoulders to hear if anybody heard his previous...
I bet that you have such an important job at the festival. You look like you would stand out.
He puffs out his chest a bit. Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, but I am the head guard of the South Gate.
Oh, is that the most dangerous gate?
Well, I've killed many beasts here by myself, in front of the others as they cowered in fear.
Oh, well, that's so impressive.
And at that statement, he would probably notice Aaron is standing directly behind Imelda and looking at him with his bitch face.
Hello, friend. You look like you could use a drink. He chuckles to Imelda, like trying to make a joke.
It's sort of like an early drinking game.
Yeah, I like to drink early too. Starts.
Well, you know what? Perhaps like when you let us in, maybe later today when you're off, you could come to the inn that you were talking about, and we'll have some fun. All of us. She looks at Irina and like the people in the back, and looks at him.
I mean, technically speaking, you're supposed to have invitation to festival. You are definitely not from Vallaki, he says as he looks you up and down.
Really, you were just inviting me, right? Like when we were talking about the festival, like it sounded like you wanted me there to watch.
He looks like one of those awkward college kids who's like said that he's got a Ferrari and now the girl wants to see the Ferrari and he's like, shit, I have Toyota Camry. He looks at you, looks back at the rest of the guards and says, you know what? Listen, okay? There is a fellow in town. His name is Isaac. He's in charge of, recruitment of talent for the festival. The Baron, he's always looking for new ways to spice things up, to make things more interesting, to make things more fun for the citizens. After all, it is bleak in the lands of Barovia, and Vallaki is the light, as the Baron says. Maybe I take you to the bar, we find Isaac, and I present you to him. give you some opportunity to tell him of your prowess and skills. You come up with a little bit of this and that you could add to the festival. We all win here, he says with a smile on his face. And of course, we meet for drinks later.
Little growl, little disapproving grumble from Kragnar in the back.
Corvus kind of stares at the guard and says, "Aren't you on duty? We have business to attend to."
Not
Well,
later.
And
what if like me and my party get settled first, and that we meet this. What was his name? Isaac?
Isaac, yes. Isaac is a bit of a creepy fellow, but you have something to offer him. You may be able to find yourself with an audience with the Baron. Such things could grant you perhaps a political gain here in Vallaki.
So what sort of things impress Isaac?
He's a man of games. Isaac fancies himself a hunter. He likes to be the Baron's champion in these games of the festivals. But I must tell you, he's pretty strong, pretty fast, and pretty cunning fellow.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? Then, like, she kind of like goes to like adjust her like longbow. Well, I'm a pretty great hunter myself.
Ah, I see. A beautiful bow, if I do say so.
Oh, why? Thank you. I actually did it myself.
And a craftswoman as well. A fair
I
catch
have
you
many
are.
skills.
This dude's charmed at this point. I'm gonna say without any kind of charm, this dude is just naturally charmed by Imelda.
And like she kind of goes to tuck like a bit of her hair behind her ear, and then she kind of like shows a bit of her like elvish ear. Her elvish ear. Yeah.
it's super seductive elvish ear.
It might look
I
sexy,
just
but
love
he's
the
very
pointy
nervous.
ears.
This is the elvish form of lifting to show the ankle. He's showing the ankle right now. I see what you're doing there. And
It's the bend and snap. It works every time.
it appears to be working on the guard.
These are the
Corvus is
thirst
just
trap.
standing next to Imelda, trying not to look feminine.
At any rate, he offers to take you to the Blue Water Inn, and he says he'll even vouch to try and get you a discount with the proprietor there, Erwin Mardikov,
Well, that's very generous.
because he's sure you'll need somewhere to stay while you.
Oh, of course. Thank you for helping us out.
And if any of the guys start complaining or start trying to interrupt her, Tirok will shush them immediately.
all the dudes in our party hate the guard right now. Just checking, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then my mission is accomplished, and I'm doing
Yep.
I'm doing a good job.
You drawn us
Aaron
all
is
one of the head
indifferent.
guards now.
Tirok is just smarter enough to know that he's going to just need to stab him after he shows him where the Blue Water
He's
Inn
just
is.
wrapped around Imelda's finger now.
I'm trying to practice invoking human emotion, and I find that is one way to do it. Target the lady party members. Watch all the dudes be like, "Hey, back off! All right, she's with us." Your defensive older brother status, I'm sure, right away. Well, let's see here. I need to get you guys over to Vallaki Redux as the portcullis suddenly opens, and you find yourself being welcomed into Vallaki by 7 Vallaki guardsmen. As they seem to be pretty thick throughout the town. As you get a look everywhere you look, you can find at least one city guardsman. Vallaki is well outfitted, well armored, well walled. And you can see now why it's stayed resistant to so many breaches throughout the history of its standing. If anybody is having trouble with mini control, just let me know. I think everybody should be good. If you don't know where your mini is, it's because I haven't summoned you to this board, because I am a failure.
Mini control.
Summon me!
I will.
We'll stay busy. Not a-
Oh,
Mini
also,
control.
Never.
what's the guard's name?
His name is Roz. R-O-Z.
R-O-Z?
Mm-hmm. This is the Russian form of Ross.
Say that sounds suspiciously similar to Ross. I immediately thought of Ross from Friends.
Yep, me too. He's nothing like that guy, though, because he's a blondie. David Schwimmer, is that his name?
Yep.
Yep. All right, you guys should be on the right board now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I need a mini control.
No apologies necessary.
Here, Kragnar, I got you covered, brother.
Thank you.
Permission. If anybody else has missed, just let me know. My mouse was bugging out
There
a
we go.
little bit when giving control earlier.
I am me.
While we're walking, Turok's going to remind everybody, all right, people, don't forget, we're trying to make a good impression here. Let's try not to get kicked out right away.
And I am gonna make a copy of a guard here for Ross. And Ross begins to lead you just right down the main run of the city. He takes you past what looks to be like a small little wine shop. You see a sign just on the outside of the door that says expert winemakers for the last 180 years. Think to yourself, quite a long time to be making wine. Wonder if they have any spirits wine that old sitting in those cellars there. Ross takes you through the town all the way to this building. I'll drop a pin on the map for those of you who are looking for where the heck Ross just went to. My mouse is doing that cool thing where it doesn't want to work again. And it should be over here. You find that the city of Vallaki is pretty well developed. It's a little nicer looking than Barovia was. Of course, all of the roads are well paved, well manicured. There's even some lush flowers and plants that are growing and somehow surviving through the dim amount of sunlight that must radiate through the mists or the clouds there.
On the way, Kragnar would just do a quick scan of the surroundings, see if there's anything suspicious or ill at ease, would put people ill at ease.
On the contrary, you see gray smoke issuing from the double chimney of the large two-story wooden building that Ross stands in front of. And the smell that is emanating from this building is, quite honestly, the finest sense that you've had since you've arrived in Barovia. Whatever is inside there, you must consume it.
Unless it's a pie. Don't touch the pie. All right. So,
Oh, good.
You do
Well-
see, however, John, just to finish that, several ravens perched atop the roof of the building, and the roof sags slightly as though it's been there for a while, although it looks like it's had several repairs in its time. There's a painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance. It depicts a beautiful blue waterfall that looks very much like the Sayre Falls that you just came from. The sign says Blue Water Inn.
Eric's going to give a little nudge to Kragnar and is like, Before you ask, brother, these are not my family. Pointing to the
Smelling.
pointing to
food.
Crow. And before while Roz just showed us, before you can even think of going near Imelda, trying to think like, Tarak's just gonna step in front of him, just grab his hand and just shake it like, "Oh, thank you so much, friend. You've showed us the way very well. Like, oh, you're very thankful." And just with his hand behind his back, he's gonna sign to everybody to move on inside. You've been such a great help. You know what? You've shown the guards of this city to be like the best they could be. Like, go inside, people.
And all of you begin to head inside the Blue Water Inn.
He's like, well, I was hoping you would stay outside.
Sorry, man, I missed that. Who were you hoping would stay outside?
I was trying to distract Roz, get everybody inside, and get him to leave us alone, but that's fine.
Oh,
Like
gotcha.
he was gonna give us a discount, wasn't he?
And introduced you to Izek, but he would probably take that hint, I would think. Although that might break your ties with the guard here.
No, yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna let him go inside.
Melda could charm him back again at some point.
No, it's fine. Tarek is just gonna tap his shoulder like, "Let me buy you hell."
I was gonna say, I think Imelda has control here, not Tarok.
I'm trying to protect her, of course.
Imelda is still all the way back by the entrance.
I heard
Many of
I
you.
heard something about still all the way back at the entrance, but that's all I
Oh.
heard.
My bad. Yeah, I was saying that Imelda is still back by the entrance.
Nice. Yep, I'm working on that. You want to control Melda, I will give you full control over though.
Yeah, dude, do it. I'll take it.
Oh, I'm just mainly saying working as fast as I can here. I have lots of
No
minis
worries.
control. You have one.
That's what I'm
Exceptionally
saying. If you wanna lighten your load,
No, more so just not break the immersion by pointing out the obvious and randomness of Imelda, Irina, Ismark all being at the front. You guys walk into the bar, like I said. Roz with you.
yes.
Tarek is still gonna try to make a bit of a, not without like physically blocking him, but just being there next to him. Like, "Oh, come with me, brother. I'll buy you now. Just thank you for your service. And you can talk to us about Isaac more."
Agnar is already at the bar area.
What one gets when at the bar? She kind of goes up to the bar and asks the people around her and hopefully the person that's behind the bar.
At such an establishment, I am sure the ale is delicious. I'm sure you're gonna love it. All right.
What's your favorite?
Gotta be better than the swill in Barovia.
As you walk in talking amongst yourselves, you find that the bar is occupied by a few barflies and what looks to be a barkeep, as well as perhaps someone that's working tables, a young woman draped in a green cloak. She seems to be moving hurriedly from table to table, either collecting dirties or putting down cleans, and serving drinks as well. The bartender is currently locked in conversation with an important-looking figure who stands with what looks to be some kind of a guard or mercenary next to him.
Tarok is gonna nudge Roz and go like, "Tell me, brother, do you know who these people are? They seem important."
Looks at you, shrugs his shoulders. First time in Vallaki for me.
Oh, I was talking to Roz, not Ismark.
Oh, you want
To
to
the
talk
guard.
to Roz now, huh?
I've been talking to Roz.
I think
I
Roz
promise-
pays you a cold shoulder after your comment earlier, Tara. Such are the consequences of poor interactions with NPCs, sir.
I did say I was going to buy you an ale.
You also said
Well-
don't screw with this guy. Let him take us there, and then as soon as he gets there, you're like, let's screw with this guy. I just don't get it sometimes. I don't get it sometimes.
I changed minds.
Yes, I see that. Well, he responds, "That's the Baron."
Oh.
So, Ross, what's your favorite thing to drink and eat around here?
I don't drink when I'm on duty. He says,
Well, I mean,
shrugging
for
at the Baron.
it's I have to admit, it's my first night out on the town.
Right, well,
Like she kind of flutters her like eyes underneath like her like eyelashes.
you have good friends to take care of you. I see you all later. And the Roz slips out from the bar, hoping not to be seen by the Baron,
Oh, he's in there?
escaping all of your presence.
The Baron's in there?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's the Baron right there.
Where?
Yeah, the
I put a little bubble on him.
Argus.
Oh, it'll show up on
Oh.
Twitch in a second.
That's funny. Drinking on the job, and I just said his name out loud.
Of course.
And
You,
the
you
Baron
don't
can
know.
Do whatever he wants.
I don't know.
Yeah, Kragnar doesn't have patience for bartenders that don't serve other guests, and he's not really aware that that's the Baron yet, so he's going to go,
He looks over and notices that there's several bar patrons that have made their way up to the bar, obviously thirsty. Danica, he calls over the bar to the woman draped in green. And she quickly hustles around the bar. Sorry about that. What can I help you with?
yes. He looks at Imelda. You should start with ale. Then go
Oh.
from there.
Do you have ale?
Of course. Would you like honeyed mead, the simple apple ale, or would you like something a bit stronger?
She looks at Kragnar for guidance.
He kind of chuckles and goes, honey mead for, well, you know.
I'll take the honey meat.
Of course, of course. And the rest of you, may I get you something? Your friend, perhaps? She looks at Kragnar.
Strongest one. Ale.
Of course.
Strongest.
He says and gives you a
I'll try
little
your-
robust muscle flex.
Corvus smiles and says, "I'll try your apple ale."
One honey, one strong, one apple, and for the rest of you? Looks to Artemine, Aaron, Perak.
I'll take some of your. I don't know if you have any schnapps or any vodka here.
Schnapps, vodka? Is this some sort of wine?
All right, I'll go with an ale then.
She simply looks to Artemine and Aaron like the waitress does when she's asking everybody if they want something, and there's those last two guys that are just staring at their menu.
Artemine sets his lantern down on the bar and asks for red wine.
Of course.
Do you have any whiskey?
Whiskey? Maybe something like it. You want to try?
Send one down to the gentleman at the end of the bar for me.
You talking about the Baron? She looks down at the end of the bar.
Yes.
The Baron don't drink.
Hmm.
He may take it as offense. You want to get him something nice? Yes?
Yes.
Perhaps get him a son that's not a little shit, she says quietly as she leans over the bar.
Yes. Get it. Let's get it. Let's turn it up a notch.
Can't help there.
Well, this
Oh.
sounds as though it would be a difficult task to accomplish. Is there anything I could present him with that would not offend him?
Well, the Baron, he likes to have people kiss his rear end. Tell him he's greatest. Tell him he's best Baron ever seen in Vallaki. But more than anything, he wants to impress citizens with his stupid festivals. Says this all under her breath, very quietly, knowing that her husband has this man thoroughly distracted in an in-depth conversation.
Tarok is just leaning real close in now, listening to all the tea being spilled.
I have heard of the festivals from one of the guards in the front gate. Would he be looking for help arranging the latest festival?
Oh, sure. They take all sorts of volunteers.
At this
What,
point, I think it's safe to say he just wants some ideas, some fresh ideas.
Yes, it gets tiresome to watch Isaac nail every horseshoe from every angle in the main city square. He has won that contest 10 times over. I don't know how many times I can watch it. And attendance has been, let's say, thinning over the last few festivals. It is outrageous, the Baron, she says, laughing, and not being able to help herself.
All right, that's probably good thing I got into being a bard now.
Tell me what smells so good.
Oh, well, that is my Erwin's cooking. He is the best chef in all of the land. People come from miles just to have something to eat at the Blue Water Inn. She says this quite proudly.
So everything good here.
You smell various aromas, ranging from pork to lamb to chicken to beef, and all of them smell amazing, coming from the back kitchen.
Several plates of beef, potatoes for a group, and pork, and chicken.
Nailed the ordering there, Kragnar.
We'll just have the combination.
Let us not forget our vegetables. We need our nutrients.
Do you have a party platter available?
I tell you what, you seem like family to me. I bring you the family platter. This is Erwin's finest spread. You try a little bit of everything at a perfect price. You pay 1 gold piece, you drink for rest of night free.
Oh.
Yes. Kragnar slaps the gold down. I'm on the table.
Also,
Very aggressively.
someone mentioned that we could probably get rooms here.
Of course, we have several rooms available tonight. You looking for a love suite? Looking for a communal room? Or you looking for something more privacy? Split up group, maybe? Maybe one of you doesn't like one another? She looks around at the rest of you.
While Kragnar tends to sometimes smell a bit in his sleep, letting some wind pass, I'm pretty sure the lady is going to appreciate having her own space.
Yeah.
She whispers, "You haven't smelled the Baron."
Offended grunt.
Tarok just goes like, I love you, old lady. You are great.
Rachel made that canon, just putting it out there.
All right. Now, before we move on to the pleasant part of the evening, I'm thinking that maybe we should first secure our place in the city for a more longer term than one night. Kind of points his head towards the Baron.
And at this, I will approach the Baron.
I will also approach the Baron.
Can I roll to see how drunk I get? Because this is her first time drinking.
Momentarily. Let's let you finish that first
Okay.
drink. As the results must come after it is consumed, of course.
Okay.
But you're sipping on it, and right now you feel the warmth and bubbliness, all of the good effects of alcohol at this point, none of the bad. As you walk up Aaron and Tarak to the Baron, you make it about maybe within 7-8 feet of him before Izek takes notice of you and simply lifts the large hook that he's holding in his hand, pressing it up against either Aaron or Tarak, whoever approaches first, chest, and saying, "Not so fast. What your business with Baron? You making some kind of move?"
Of course not. Of course not. Tarak raises his hand, like
Then
immediately.
back off, little birdie. He doesn't even give you a chance to speak, really. He sort of brushes you away, and he's much bigger than Tarak. He stands looming over you. He says, "Not so close. The Baron is speaking. You will not interrupt."
Oh, then Imelda's kind of just like gonna peer over Kragnar's shoulder with like her like mage in one hand, and she's gonna like, well, we heard that perhaps he was looking for like some act, like some talent for this festival.
You heard wrong.
Oh, really? It sounded like he was really looking for it. And by the way, I heard that your shoe, artwork was amazing. Right on point.
Who you hear this from?
Everyone.
Just, people are talking here and there. I don't really know names. I'm not really from here, so.
You hear, but you don't know. You speak like fool. He looks at you, looks at Tarak, looks at Aaron, and back off.
Now, Kragnar has seen this. He is walking up. At all that, he takes his head, he kind of cocks it to the side, looks right at Izek and goes, "Their problem here?"
You see 2 guards walk into the inside of the bar. No,
I put
Immediate-
my arm up.
I don't see problem.
No problem here. No problem here, Kragnar. There's a nail waiting for you right over there. Please keep going.
He butts his nose into Kragnar's nose and says, "I make problem."
Eric. And I'm just gonna like whisper, but almost not like really whisper. It's gonna be kind of loud. As like she's like drinking the meat. What if we work together to like show your talent as like a musician or like a bard or something?
Of course. No. Please calm down, everybody. We don't need to go into those kind of situations. We're really like passersby looking to show our talents. And we've heard that a great man named Isaac was one of the masters of the festival that could maybe help us with this.
He's deadlocked with Kragnar still. Their noses are touching, guys. Their noses are kissing right now. And Kragnar is, I don't think, showing any signs of retreat here.
Kragnar,
He's paying attention to you guys, but the talking that you're doing is like talking in a bar that is just completely noise-ridden. So basically, these 2 are not hearing you if you're talking to them. And at least it doesn't seem like they are showing you any mind. But suddenly, out of nowhere, he responds, making you think he might have heard a few of the words that you said at least. Skills. Talents. You want to show your talents, big boy? You want to face off with me? You meet me in the square at the festival for the duels. We see who really has talents here, boy. And he's trying to get bigger than Kragnar, but he's just not. So he's like, you know, he's definitely on his tippy toes. His chest is all the way puffed out, and he's a big, imposing figure, but he's not bigger than Kragnar.
Yeah, Kragnar says, what would he say? He would say, sounds like plan. No, friends would like to drink and eat and see about participating.
Then friends talk to me, not Baron.
And just like that, we've created the next festival. Good job, guys.
And just to be clear, to rewind back for you guys, when you were talking to Raz, all of the men were channeling their hatred into him. Did anybody hear him say you need to talk to someone named Izek and not the Baron? All right, I'm just making sure I'm not talking to a room full of nobodies here.
No, I've got that noted down.
Awesome.
That's
sweet. Noted. Note it, and then look at it again, and then absorb it.
Yes.
But
Sir Isaac.
I heard you just threw horseshoes around.
Oh, no.
Finesse.
Oh, dude.
Finesse game.
Immediately, Tarak's going to step on Kragnar's foot immediately. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. And he's just going to... Sir Isaac, please. We know you're the master of these games, and we're really, really would be happy to participate in them.
You want to participate, little birdie? You have a special trick. You eat cracker.
Oh, nice.
I do much more than that, trust me.
You wave
maybe
little stick at me. He laughs at your rapier. He's not being kind.
While my trusty partner here might have few surprises up its but of course the festival is meant to impress many people, and I bet you I can show you some things that many people like.
Baron make me in charge of recruiting special talents. Hunters for the great hunt, fighters for the duel. He looks at Kragnar. What you do, little birdie? You play music or something?
Oh, I do many things.
You do many things. What you do, birdie?
Give me a... Then Kragnar's just gonna... But Tarak is just gonna start just imitating the sound of a lute. Just picking the like a nice little tune. He's going... Just to take a step back here. He just steps back and takes two daggers and starts to juggle them, like quite expertly, using his performance.
Roll a performance check.
He'll step back a little bit.
Yeah.
The situation seems to have chilled out a little bit.
I'm gonna use Kenku Recall on that to give me advantage right away.
He also seems to take immediate notice of what Tarak is doing, and his brutish figure starts to slip a little bit, and you see that childish nature of entertainment as he seems genuinely entertained at what Tarak is doing at the moment.
So I got one, and I gotta do the second one. That's gonna be an 18.
Yeah, I saw the 18, and that looks good to me.
So basically, he's just he's literally making like a full-on song with just his mimicking of his voice, and they're just flipping those daggers in the air, like catching him behind his back, and then pointing back around, and just having a good time of it, making a pretty good show.
And Izek smiles. He doesn't laugh, but as you kind of come to a close there, he actually claps at the end of your little performance. All right, that's not bad. You know, maybe there's something special about you after all. We talk more about your talents. You come to the Burgermaster mansion later. we discuss more.
Does that include all of us or just Hera?
You can bring your friends, he says and shrugs.
Eric just does an elaborate kind of bend forward with his rushing his hat to the ground and brings it back up. I thank you very much, good sir. And I'm pretty sure many of us here, we have quite some hunters in our group as well that can maybe help with this so-called hunt you were talking earlier about.
Oh, is it like an archery sort of thing?
Yes, it is like an archery sort of thing, but more like for professionals, you know, men. He looks at you with absolute disdain, as if a woman could be a hunter. And that's sort of the connotation he drops on the comment.
Terak's gonna go ahead. I'll let you defend yourself.
I mean, well, what if I can show you my talent?
Yes, this will be a very, very good, interesting day. You to show me your hunting talents. He sort of looks back to see if the Baron is paying attention, and immediately frowns when he finds that no one is hearing his joke besides the party.
Terak's just gonna give him a big wink. He goes like, "Can you just imagine this beautiful flower just with amazing archery skill? That is sure to attract a lot of attention."
A woman shooting arrows in the hunt. Okay, you want to show me your talent? Show me your talent. He walks over to the other side of the bar.
I'll go grab a table while this is happening.
Wait, like, am I doing my talent now, or like?
Oh, he's go.
Yeah, it's time to dazzle everybody with your starry archer, man. Of course.
So I was about to say, you better shoot a star at this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's gonna get starry in here.
Just like a guiding bolt at him.
Ooh, magic, yeah.
You're gonna dazzle him literally.
Not a good idea to use magic.
Do not use magic.
I mean, it's not strictly speaking.
As he makes it over to the other side of the bar, he puts a piece of paper onto the door and then drives his blade through it. He takes a small candle that lies on a table nearby and begins to draw a circle with the wet wax on top of the candle, making a makeshift target. Now you stand, let's see, I want to say probably a rough 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
12 tiles.
Yeah, about 65 feet away from his target. Thank you, Terak.
You got this.
All right, and she's gonna down the rest of the meat before she does it.
God damn it! God damn it!
Meant
boost
shoot
of confidence.
an arrow, but okay.
Terak just dampers his forehead like as if he was sweating. Although I don't think birds actually sweat.
Ragnar orders 2 more.
And I shoot with my
honey and
guns.
strong.
Please do well.
Come on.
Come on, girl.
This is 18. I don't know.
Oh yes.
Decent. It's decent.
And
Decent.
you hit just inside of the target, clearly inside of the red ring that he's produced. Not bad, but not quite the center of the target. I suppose for a woman, you're all right.
There it goes. There's the deep sight. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
That
thank
is
you
it.
for that compliment, she says in gritted teeth.
Derek's gonna grab the strong ale that Ragnar just ordered and just pops it in front of him. Elda like, good job. And now, Sir Isaac, what at the mention of the Burgermaster, do you have any time in mind?
Dinner time? You come by supper?
Of course, that sounds like an excellent time. We shall be there to meet you.
Very good. Don't be late, of course. If you're late, you won't be let in.
What time is supper?
Supper time. You don't know when supper time is.
It's just, like different families like have different times.
Well, let's hope that your family is same as mine, eh? And he winks at you.
Like what kind of wink?
Like a...
Inside check?
Asshole wink?
An asshole?
Oh,
Okay.
oh. That's acceptable, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. You've probably seen a lot of asshole winks, though, Simon.
Probably.
All right.
Come sit, drink, eat.
Yes. Yes. But not too much. We have a performance to. We have a festival to join. Just
Is it today?
No, but to join. Maybe to sign up for. There you go. That's what I'll say. So maybe he's gonna actually move away the strong one. Maybe we'll keep to the lighter stuff for now. The stronger stuff can wait for later on. It's better to gradually move into these things.
That's the most important meal.
It's very sweet, she says as she takes just the other mead.
All right. So Terak is just from now on, have a good time, drink one ale, and eat. Don't know what you guys do.
Danica lays out a pretty immersive spread in front of you, and you do find the rare vegetable amassed in the piles of meat that she brings out.
Ragnar eats no vegetables.
But you
Well,
order
besides the potato.
potatoes.
Potato, not count as vegetable.
You'd think Terak as a birdman. You'd think Terak as a birdman would avoid the chicken, but he seems to actually favor it. Because crows actually eat other animals and birds.
It will totally eat.
When Imelda gets near the table after he heard the dig about hunting, he will tell her, "My mother, Grotha Nar, teach me all I know about hunting."
So did my mother. She's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Don't listen to Isaac. He all talk.
Well, thank you. I mean, I was a little bit nervous, so I wasn't on my game completely, but at least I didn't miss it completely.
You did a fine job. Good.
Drink more. Make strong. And even carry
Not his word.
water skin or flask.
Indeed. Do not let his words dissuade you. It was a fine shot. Anyone knows that being a woman has nothing to do with your skill. Why, in fact, it was also my mother who inspired me to become a blade singer, as she was when I was younger.
And Imelda kind of looks down at her cup and then looks back at I guess the arrow that she shot. That I don't know where it is. It's probably on a wall or something. But she's like, now what would my mother say now? As she takes another swig.
you've now Turok's just gonna, while people are eating, he's gonna say, like, you've now seen the Baron. We were talking earlier about the occult being not well seen in this town. One reason for that seems to be that the Baron is a very, well, basically he hates Strahd, and he thinks magic is linked to the Dark Lord himself. Therefore, he doesn't want any of it in his town. So the talks about convincing somebody about letting us use magic in the town, you better keep that for yourself. And enjoy some hell instead.
Good to know. What, is the Baron still in here or no?
The
I
Baron
missed
has
that.
the Baron has since exited the bar, finishing his conversation with Erwin, and with Izek in tow. He has walked out the door, as well as a few guards trailing after him.
Also, behind the bar, is that an elf?
It is not. Erwin is a human.
Oh, okay. I just saw pointy ears and I just thought.
Quick scan of the room. Is anyone paying particular interest to our group?
Good call.
Go ahead and roll perception for that, John.
Okay.
I'll you know what? I'll give him advantage. I'll help him out with this. If that works with you, EM.
What do you think, Ian? Let me know.
Just flipping through the various tabs here.
Okay.
I didn't see a roll come up.
Well, I'll roll with advantage, and you can decide whether it's advantage or not.
Yeah, I'm going to help him out, basically.
At the same anyway, 14 or 15. 14 was the first roll.
So you look around the room, the only people you notice that are eyeing you are the two small children that are standing near the bar. And you
okay.
may have noticed also, while Erwin and the Baron were having their conversation, that these two children were making like faces, tongues out, both at Izek and the Baron pretty much every time they spoke. And I'll just say you noticed this from your perception check.
Okay.
Also, where are Ismark and Irina?
Ismark and Irina are, should be up next to the bar, probably tucking in, eating some food, and taking in some drink. For the sake of assisting in roles and stuff like that, I don't want you guys to call out, I'm going to give this person advantage on this role. I want you to say how you're helping them. If you're helping someone look around the room, I'd like to hear how you're doing that. If it
Sounds good.
dictates that they would have advantage, at that point I'll say, yep, they're going to get advantage. But you guys should be talking about what you're doing, not how you're benefiting or adding boons to the character.
Sounds good.
Take that note into consideration whenever you're trying to add to someone else's role.
All right.
Kragner will try to get the attention of one of the kids. Just kind of by making eye contact and kind of...
Kragnar, it's not hard for you to get the
Head.
attention of anybody. You have their attention, it would seem.
Okay.
They seem kind of playful with you as well,
he,
for some reason, just naturally. One of them flips you the bird.
Kids.
Specifically the one with the little green bandana around his head that matches his mother's cloak.
He He motions to them, like beckons them over to the table.
And just a side note, while the minis are gnomes, they're small children. Why I wrote parentheses child. I'll try and do that with everybody that's not prescribed as what they look like. I just didn't expect you guys to zoom in that much.
He's
These
also
kids look
rummaging
like
through his bag. Pulls out his hand drum.
Immediately, both of them have doubled their attention, immediately locking into that hand drum.
He like tries to get him to come over again, and he does a little beginning little roll and sound on the hand drum.
They bridge the gap between you halfway at the sound of this drum roll.
And then he stops drumming. Do they stop walking?
Yep.
He goes and he starts doing the roll again.
They seem to walk faster at you this time.
Stop.
They stop.
Okay. He goes and he shakes that he's going to hit the drum this time.
They start sprinting at you.
He gives a hearty half-work laugh.
The children seem to break into laughter as well as they respond in kind, kind of similarly to Kragnar.
Mm-hmm. He holds it out and scoots the chairs out beside him. Here, you try now.
The one without the bandana grabs the drum and immediately begins to slap on it, while the one with the bandana begins to slap on his brother for grabbing the drum first.
Ragnar starts eating voraciously.
And they're sort of just like, now, like Uncle Kragnar status. One of them is like sort of just naturally worked his way up onto one of Kragnar's knees. The other one is sitting on the chair exactly next to Kragnar and beating the ever-living shit out of that drum.
You're pretty good at that, he says, chomping away at meat and chicken and
I'm good at lots of
drinking
stuff.
ale.
We're spies. But don't tell anybody, of course. Puts his finger up to his mouth.
Ragnar totally saw you. Weren't hiding or nothing.
Oh, I wasn't hiding just now. Believe me, if I didn't want you to see me, you wouldn't see me, Kragnar. He says mockingly at your name. Yeah, what kind of name is that anyway? Kragnar? Kragnar. They start pronouncing your name in different ways, the wrong way.
Oh yeah, what your names?
Well, I'm Brom and he's Bray. No, I'm Bray and you're Brom. They start laughing at each other.
More like broom. And he pulls the broom out from his backpack. Here, you take this, broom.
Both of them in unison go, hey!
Bray. More like... And he can't think of anything. Hey. Bray's for horses.
They both crack up in laughter after not reacting for about 1, 2, 3 whole seconds, making Kragnar a bit nervous. Then they burst into laughter, almost splitting into tears.
And this will just continue.
Danica shoots a smile over in this direction, as well as Erwin, who seems to have now regarded that he has many guests at the bar. Sorry about that. When the Baron comes in, the Baron commands all attention be directed his way. He's not so bad. Danica shoots him a disapproving look at this statement. My wife, she's a hard customer, you know? He winks at the rest of you. So, what do you think of the food? He asks some of you who are tucking into the food and drink. Number 3 prostitute
hard to
and all
be-
above you.
Artemine puts down a big head of broccoli as he's sipping on his wine. That's deliciously grilled, sir.
Ah, you know, so many don't take into account how much it takes to make perfect grown broccoli. And to fry in the right amount of oil, a pinch of salt, a hint of pepper, and you know what my secret is? I sprinkle a little bit of dill right on the, the broccoli Brussels or tips. I don't know what you call them. Not a broccoli guy. You like though, no?
Impressive, indeed.
It's delicious.
A true masterpiece.
He bows
Where
at
did
you
you
all.
get all these ingredients?
You know, Barovia and Vallaki specifically don't have that much way in the offer of tastes, flavors, but my mother, she was a amazing cook. Taught me the magic. I mean, he stops himself in the middle of his sentence, looking around at the rest of the bar as he was speaking relatively loudly, but takes comfort in hearing or seeing that you guys may have been the only ones that heard this misword or misspeak. I mean, she had a way about the kitchen. Well, she taught me her ways. Everything I have, I owe to her. I collect spices from all over. Travelers, the Vistani in particular, have been very beneficial in acquiring flavors that I have not been able to acquire myself.
Oh,
Well, you're very talented, she says, taking another bite of the food.
You are extremely gracious, he bows to you.
I am definitely going to have to remember how to make this at some point.
So what now? Ragnar, remember some talk of bartender having friend we should meet? Don't remember much but that.
Oh,
Hmm.
you looking for your child? Perhaps there's a place that we could look here?
You lost child? Says Erwin.
My daughter.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear this. When you lose her?
How many days has it been since we started? In game, 8 or 9.
I would say 8 or 9.
8 or 9 days ago.
You must be beside yourself with grief and panic. And what have you done in way of look for her? You put out some sort of posting?
I haven't really had the means to. You know how things are in this land.
Yes. To get a message anywhere near impossible. I tell you what, I do what I can. You have a picture of her, you tell me what she looks like, I put a sign up on the bulletin board.
Perhaps,
Well.
like one of us could make a sketch?
This is a great idea.
Just look to the party if anyone is good at drawing.
I
I'm
mean,
good
I
at
could
copying.
try.
What skill would that even be?
Sleight of hand? I don't know.
I'm good at copying. I'm sorry. That's my specialty. Doing your original things are a bit outside of my culture.
I mean, I suppose I have uh, I have proficiency in performance, and I'm a wizard.
I
So
mean,
I just have ink and
well,
quill.
don't worry. You know, like if like your hand starts to shake, I could, you know, help you. She gives him a little side wink.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
person who would be looking to draw a picture, I would say a performance check would be appropriate for that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Artemine, you know, here's you talking about needing someone to draw, and like his ears quiver and perk up as he sets down his wine. He's like, "Did you need penmanship?" And busts out just like overly enthusiastic, but like muted enthusiasm. Pulls a whole bunch of like sheets of paper and quill and an ink pot and just plops it out on the bar table or on the bar top.
And I'll cast guidance on him. So you get an extra D4 to an ability roll, but I want
Before you even start
Maybe
casting,
it's fine.
Terror's gonna put his hand on his wrist. Remember.
Maybe not
Mhm.
that.
Let me take care of that. And then Tarok is going to plop this next to Artemine, and he's going to give you some pointers to help him out, just to draw him a little bit better, like maybe arc this way or.
Oh, okay. So wait, it's Aaron that needs the picture drawn, right?
Yeah, I was just going to give some pointers on art because he's good at copying, not making new things, but he can help you out with the general concept of like perception and all that stuff.
I'm definitely gonna need Aaron to be like there.
Yeah, Aaron,
Looking, watching.
Aaron would be, I think, an appropriate person to assist you with the drawing of his daughter, as he would be the subject dictating what she looks like.
Sounds
But,
good.
you know, that's just me throwing logic into the situation.
I was trying to do some help, but yeah, no, forget it then.
No, I was just like wanting to give him a little extra bonus by like passing him the different quills and like inks that he would use.
Like a mechanic, you're passing him the Allen wrench.
Yeah, and I'm just casting guidance.
Real sneaky. Like it is loud as hell
You
in
should
here, I
be able to
suppose,
cast
right?
guidance without too much fanfare.
Oh,
We have an artist's assistant. Tarak is giving some kind of like pointers in the back, like an art teacher. And we have Aaron, who's dictating, and we have Artemine, who is the artiste.
There's a lot of assistants here.
Do I have that about
wait,
right, guys?
that is right.
Yeah.
Guidance.
Roger that. None of you that are assisting are going to give him any benefit. And I'm just going to teach that as a lesson, because literally 5 minutes ago, I made a statement that no one listened to. So maybe you listen to this one. None of what you're doing is going to benefit him in any way, because of the way you approached it.
Sounds good.
Do better.
I said I wanted to pass it.
I love it, but do better, and maybe wait 15 minutes before you try and assist someone with a roll. All right, moving forward. Artemine, Aaron, the subjects who are highlighted right now.
Oh, ouch.
It's a bullshit roll.
Artemine, you
I
do your best
made
to put together a
really
beautiful, drawing of Aaron's daughter. What you come up with is a makeshift stick figure that looks like it may have robbed a bush for some sort of clothing.
I will accept that.
Which is...
Not every roll needs to be a successful
Wait.
one, guys.
Wait,
I'm just
I
going
got
to put
I
it
got
out there. Some rolls need to fail. I will have 0 roll at this table if you guys just have succeeding rolls at every turn. And it gets very boring to let every roll succeed. at every turn, or let 4 people
yeah.
assist at every turn. And it's been happening a lot in the last couple of sessions. This is me vocally saying, I am getting tired of it. I don't know if anybody hears it, but Bob Ross would understand my pain.
Oh, Ragnar's
happy
on
with
time.
trees. But I was gonna say during the description, I'd give you a very detailed description of what my daughter looked like. Dark black hair like her mother's, blue eyes, like what I used to have. Fair features, filled out lips, beautiful little 12-year-old girl. And as I'm describing her, the hard look of my features, my face goes away, and you see a little bit into a more emotional side of my character.
What would be your
And then upon seeing your terrible drawing, I snap right back into it, and you just see disappointment.
What would be your perception bonus too? Because we forgot to give Artemine the benefit of your assistance.
Let's see. +2.
A magical 8. She doesn't look any prettier, but she's slightly more colorful. Unfortunately, this isn't much of a recollection of your daughter. It makes you sad, I think, more than anything, Aaron, to look upon this. This valiant attempt at a re-imaging of what was once your most precious item in this world, now lost to you.
I apologize. It has been quite some time since I used my quill for art. I will brush up my skills, and we will try again later.
With an obviously, I'll say, defeated look. I don't even say anything to you or anyone else. I just walk out.
I think someone should go talk to him, says Ismark.
Where you go? More food.
I'll follow him.
More food for Ragnar.
You also probably would have noticed by this point, Aaron has not touched any of the food or drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna follow him now.
Ragnar will continue to feed.
Don't say it that way.
You sound like a monster.
Continues to feed.
Don't do that.
I would like to say that I liked it.
Yeah, he's a half-orc.
It's
Half-orcs don't eat, they feed.
Ragnar.
At this moment, you also see from the kitchen walk out just briefly into the bar area a half-orc woman who momentarily clatters some plates, drops down a serving of fresh beef, and then immediately retreats back into the kitchen, eyeing the rest of the bar, hoping that she hasn't seen roll perception Ragnar.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Say 5s or better will let you see the only half-orc woman you've seen in Barovia so far to date.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh.
You lock eyes with her as she slips back into the kitchen, and you can't help but notice a smile breaks her face before she does so.
Yeah, Ragnar gives a toothy smile with, like, gravy and, like, a hunk of
Potatoes.
Steak, yeah, on the side of his mouth. Yeah.
Sweet.
And he's wiped his face with his arm a couple times, so his face paint's kind of smeared. He'll wait just a second, and then he's gonna get up and go back to the bar and ask about her. And was she hot? Hot half-orc or no?
She is she's pretty by orc standards, I would say.
All right. Okay. Okay, all right.
It's 90% of the humans in Barovia.
Gotcha.
The top 1%.
Yeah, okay, well, he goes up to the bar. He'll talk to Danica. So, who is the half-orc lady?
Was wondering when you were going to ask about her. How long it take you to notice, huh?
Not long.
I don't know. You've been here a while.
Ragnar has eyes like hawk and patience like fox.
Maybe old hawk and the young fox. She laughs at her own joke, and then she says, "You looking at DeLuca like you were looking at that steak a minute ago. I don't see that steak there no more. You better not do to DeLuca what you do to that steak, or me and you have problem." Says this in a half joking, half serious tone.
DeLuca.
DeLuca. That's her name.
What she do here? She cook?
DeLuca, she no cook. That's Erwin's job. DeLuca, she handles the slaughtering. Got meat, she clean, she helped me in back, she beat the crap out of Brom and Bray for me if I ask.
Yeah, he nods. He nods with like a yeah, I can see that. That's cool. Type of nod. So, Ragnar just going to go back and introduce self.
Nonsense. I bring her out. You want to talk to her? I have her help customers for a little while. She hate this. It'd be great.
Okay.
Danica disappears into the kitchen. Not but a moment later, you see DeLuca being literally pushed out by some unknown figure, and she gets shoved 3 or 4 feet out of the kitchen area, looking back in the doorway, whispering, "No, I don't want to go out there." And then walks up to the bar and changes her tone immediately. Hello. Everyone doing okay?
Perfect.
Yeah.
She's making every effort to not make eye contact with Ragnar. She does this,
Yeah.
but continues to just creep her eyes over in that direction, and then as soon as she does, she slips them away at someone else.
Can I roll insight to see if she's into him? Like if it's kind of like a blushing kind of look?
Roll insight.
Yeah. 19.
Solid.
You not only get the sense that she's into him, but you get the sense that there may be mutual sparks flying in the air. Ragnar seems to be deadlocked on her as well.
And I'll just watching them, like both of them.
So,
That's neat.
Ragnar heard you slaughtered meat tonight. Good job.
She just sort of like nods without saying anything, and her nod keeps going for like way too long. One of those don't know what to say nods.
So, what you use to do the killing with?
Cleaver. She pulls out the cleaver and sticks it in the bar immediately. A little bit of blood flecking off onto the table, some of it hitting Kragnar's plate and fresh meat. Oh, sorry.
He admires the cleaver. You mind?
She gestures towards it as if to say, of course not.
He holds it deftly. Not bad. Blade strong. How often sharpen?
Every other day or so. Meat tough in Barovia, and meat tough everywhere.
Ragnar bet pigs and cow not feel a thing.
No. Mercy.
Not good.
You
Want to?
sometimes, but mainly just kill. Erwin buy from the hunters. He no have time no more. Run too many businesses. She says, the last word, she kind of stumbles upon it, like not knowing what to say, then decides what business is. And her hesitation, if you want to roll insight there, John.
Sure, I'll roll insight as Kragnar. Here we go.
Kragnar's super
That's
insightful.
a 4. That's a 4, yep.
Kragnar is hyper aware that she is a female orc. Everything about this is his main focus right now, thus preventing him from being insightful.
So, what's up?
Not much.
Yeah. What
You
you doing?
want to go out sometime?
I don't know, maybe.
Not here. Work here. Might
Oh,
be
yeah.
awkward. Conflict of interest.
Maybe, I don't know.
Festival?
We, exactly what Kragnar's thinking.
Awkward orc mating rituals occurring right now. The first for me, John.
I might fight Izek tomorrow. Pretty
Fight?
cool, huh?
Fight Izzy. Kick him in the head for me.
Might go with punch, but yeah.
Kick. Wear steel-toe boot. She produces a set of steel-toed boots from behind the counter, and you see that they have a spiked ridge on the center of them.
Ragnar being barefoot ponders. Sure, let's see if fit. Probably way small for Kragnar feet. And he'll try on the boots and make plans to maybe see her at the festival. I don't know, maybe not. Whatever. and then that's it.
Sick moves, bro. And you feel
Mad Riz.
you feel the immediate defense that these boots give you. Go ahead and add 1 to your AC there.
Solid.
Oh,
The boots of love from DeLuca, the orc.
okay. Hell yeah. Gotta make new minis now.
Now with boots.
God.
DeLuca and Kragnar's children. Oh man, I love it. A little bit terrified by it at the same time.
Ragnar
sometimes
with kind of armor. Oh no.
Sometimes you're just gonna let love happen, my friend.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count to like make me armored to throw off my unarmored defense, does it?
No, it's just an AC buff, right?
Okay.
And Brahm and Bray are still like bouncing around you. Kragnar's got a girlfriend. Kragnar's got a girlfriend.
Shut up. You got
You would.
girlfriend. And he points at like a random woman in the bar.
Brahm and Bray immediately start arguing with each other that they don't have girlfriends.
No, you got girlfriend. You probably hold hands. Talk feelings to each other.
More fighting ensues between the brothers.
Well,
Dan-
Kragnar, it sounded like you had quite the chemistry with her. I think she was really into you, she whispers a little bit lowly.
Ragnar not know about chemistry, but seemed
Oh,
like she
like it
liked
seemed
you.
like she was really into you, though.
Right. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
it kind of seems like you'd make a good father too. So that usually helps.
And you have your belt on you too, so it all works out.
Yeah, that grandfather's belt. There, your
Before you know it, Barovia will be overrun with orcs.
We'll see. We'll see.
I wanted
Ragnar
to
definitely
run this back a little bit earlier. I missed my opportunity to do so, and as that happens sometimes. But now I have a chance to. Tarak, when Isaac was in the room, and everybody was kind of conversating, him and Ragnar got up in each other's faces. As soon as he started to talk to Imelda, because you were just kind of, I would imagine, probably staring daggers into him the whole time that was happening, I want you to make a perception check, and then an insight check.
So that would be me, right?
Yes.
Perception check.
No, I don't know if I like this.
So a 16 on perception. And you know what? I'm going to use my Kenku recall to give me advantage on my insight. And I did well because I rolled the 12 on that one. So I'm going to roll again. Better, 18.
All right. From these rolls, what you're discerning is you're basically looking over Izek and observing the fact that while he was sort of taunting Imelda a little bit, he was also very closely paying attention to her and only her from the moment the conversation shifted in her direction. Now, the reason I asked you to roll insight is something just didn't sit well with you about that. I wasn't sure if it was his general tone, connotation, or just the fact that you really don't like Izek. But something in your gut tells you it was none of those things, that it was something else gnawing at your internal gut, I guess we'll say here. And you get the sense that he was taking note of every characteristic Imelda portrayed. He was looking at her like one studies a picture in a museum.
Creepy.
Even upon his exit, his gaze last fell on Imelda before walking out of the room.
But it didn't feel like a Roz kind of situation.
It felt not like Roz. While Imelda is a beautiful woman and it's pretty natural for most men, I think, to show some sort of affection or just general kindness towards her, this seemed more like an infatuation. This seemed more like an unhealthy, whereas Roz seemed more like a probably what Imelda's used to. Maybe not. She hasn't dealt with lots of weird men.
Yeah,
Mostly
she's
just
probably
elves.
not. I think she's just even more. Yeah, like the thing with Roz, that was like her first time flirting with someone outside her tribe.
First
She's a natural.
random dude.
Yeah, I mean she's a natural, but
She hasn't been flirting inside the tribe.
And
Alright,
to give you kind of a differentiation, sorry to cut you off, it doesn't seem like flirting. This seems more like, when I say infatuation, like interest, intrigue. There's something about her that he wanted to find out, perhaps. He was doing his
It's
best.
kind of like Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling.
That is the best possible analogy one could make, I think. He was looking at you like he wants to consume you.
Like what
Sec you and
kind of consume?
fucking
Like
figure you out.
cannibalism?
Oh yes, like maybe with a bottle of Chianti and a nice can of fava beans.
Ugh.
Nice.
And Izek looked the type to be able to do such a horrible act too, which should set you off even further.
Keep tabs.
Certainly.
I didn't see any of this, did I?
I want to say specifically, you were so focused on your task, and like you were probably just thought of him as like, this guy is a fucking asshole. Like that was probably what you were feeling the whole time. And I want to say that like sense kind of overwhelmed your senses, and maybe he was doing that on purpose. Kind of throw that off a little bit, but Tarak knows this, and I would probably say. At this juncture, as you guys sit around the bar, it would be like sitting in your gut just thinking about that, which is why I bring it up now.
Okay. So Tarok is going to have a bit. Normally, he has his jovial self, and that's probably why he hasn't said anything, because he definitely would have poked fun at Kragnar for that beautiful romantic kind of scene he's just shown us. And when everybody settles down a little bit and Kragnar keeps playing with the kids, he's just going to put his hand on Emilio's wrist in a friendly way and it's just like, I've seen Isaac look at you, and it did not seem like a good look. It looked unhealthy. So I would ask you to please be careful, and especially do not show any of the things we talked about. We should not show while we're here. And I would be terribly sad if anything happened to you. Like, you're a good friend. Please be careful. This man is not to be trusted, and definitely not to be trifled with.
She kind of like looks a little bit like confused. Wait, when? Like when I was shooting my arrow?
Yes. You might have been aiming for that target, but he was definitely aiming for you. And that was not the same look you got from that young guard. Much more darker.
I didn't even know. Wait, like a dark, like he wanted to, like, do something bad to me?
We've seen. I don't know if he was going to be.
Best we leave it at that.
Yeah, just be careful. Just make sure that you don't do anything that might trigger anything, and stick close. All right.
Just want to make sure you don't miss it there too, Tarak. I did send you a DM that pertains to this as well.
Oh,
so do
sorry.
you think he'll try and egg me on a little bit when we go there over supper time?
Yeah, maybe. Like, just keep an eye. And I've only got a flash of something, but those eyes. There was something about those eyes. I'm not sure yet, but make sure you never be alone with him. Okay? I would really feel bad, and I got a bad feeling about him, and I just would really feel bad about something happening to you.
Yeah, the bar lady mentioned Kragnar looking hungry, but this guy, I think, actually really looked hungry. Like, yeah, hungry.
Wait, like is like Corvus saying something, like actually saying something about that right now, or is this like the player?
Yeah, he is.
Like he actually
agrees.
wanted to eat my flesh?
Potentially. I mean, don't discount the idea.
I have heard of such beasts, but none have breached the town walls that I know of, says Ismark.
Ugh. Well,
yeah.
hopefully at the festival I can shove my arrow up his butt.
I would say
he probably deserves it.
That would be a good idea, says Ismark.
Maybe make sure the pointy stick that comes out of his mouth. That'll make a good show.
Thank you for
clarifying.
clarifying.
Yeah, and perhaps I can shut him up about women not being good hunters. I would like to see him battle my mother over archery. She would beat him any day.
Turok gives you a wink. I'm sure she would. Alright,
That
enough
guy's
of...
all bluster.
No, that definitely not. That man is not all bluster. Do not misunderstand the message here. Might make fun of some things. He is anything but not all bluster. Be
Ragnar
on your
will
toes.
try to send him a message when we fight.
Hey, you can use those new shiny boots to stick that arrow further up his butt.
That's true. That is very true. She's gonna turn to the barkeep and ask,
Ew.
does that man with that hook on his arm, does he come here often?
Isaac,
Yeah.
Isaac, he make his rounds looking for talent in the bar. But the Baron, he stays on his heel like dog.
So, like, does he usually come here at nighttime, or just avoids this place at nighttime?
Never seen him to be a drinker. Come here at night before, but not every night, no.
Do the doors lock? Like, if I have my own room, should I be afraid if he could, like, break in or something, or sneak in?
He not come in here and hurt you, ma'am. If you rent a room from Erwin, you safe. Erwin
Can I
says this,
intercheck
like,
her?
he puts his fist across his chest, and absolutely you can.
Okay.
Sort of pledging this to you.
I'm gonna roll. I want to see how confident he is. Okay, it's 15.
You get the sense from the look in his eyes that Erwin Mordekov is the type of person that's kind to everyone and would stand up for anyone in need. He has defended, while you've been in here, a couple of unsavory characters, which may lead you to question his judgment a little bit. But he seems to just be that sort of fellow. Turn the cheek, or turn the other cheek would be the phrase best used to describe Erwin Mordekov.
All right. Oh man, she says into like the meat cup that she has and takes a swig of it.
For those of you that have been drinking at your drinks, I want to say it's probably been enough time to where a refill is coming around and you're now on your second drink. And everybody's going to make a constitution save at the bar. For those of you that chose to have more stout drinks, you'll have maybe a higher little bit of a check here. Difficulty of that check.
Imelda, yes.
Dang.
Oh, that's not good.
Con save, con check.
On the contrary, it's a wonderful thing to be inebriated.
Con save.
Con save,
No.
please. Yeah.
Not when you're trying to get the freaking sign up.
Well, let's see how drunk one ale makes me.
Ooh, Corvus.
Oh my goodness.
Not very.
Well, I would hope not.
All right. Let's see here. Artemine, Tarek, Imelda. Poor Imelda.
Natty one.
Oh
Am I like a
man.
happy drunk right now, or am I like in a better drunk?
You are an extremely happy drunk, my friend. You are 5 points over the intoxication threshold at the moment, and you have +5 to charisma checks. You have disadvantage on intelligence checks. You have disadvantage on wisdom checks. You're not feeling very intelligent. You're not feeling very wise. You got a -3 on attack rolls. You're drunk.
You're a lightweight.
The rest of you who seemingly failed your checks, which would include Kragnar, Terok, Artemine, and that's really it from what I can see. Natty 1, Natty Light. Tarak and Artemine, you guys are slightly less drunk, only 2 points over the intoxication threshold. Similarly, you have a +5 to charisma checks. All of a sudden, you're just super charismatic, and those songs that you didn't know the lyrics to, suddenly the lyrics are just filling in. You're not sure if they're the real lyrics. You're not sure if you've made them up. You just know they sound good. -3 on intelligence checks, -3 on wisdom checks, -1 on attack rolls. So slightly a little bit of different negative effects there for you. Melda has disadvantage on wisdom and intelligence. You guys just have a -3, a little black smudge on your brain that is the alcohol that is seeping into your brain cells. And the rest of you, you're just feeling it. You're in the pocket, as I call it.
The pocket.
It probably sounds like I drink every weekend, and I drink maybe like 3 times a year, guys. Just so you know.
Hey,
Also-
so
Are
But-
there any instruments? Like any lute?
There's got to be an instrument. It's a bar, right? If you ask
Yeah.
the bartender, Danica
She's
produces.
asking. She's like, we need the jig. You know?
She produces like a piccolo. She produces a ukulele. She produces a lute, of course. 2 actually. One that looks a little bit older. One that looks a little bit newer. Both of them in great condition.
Who's gonna take the ukulele?
Tarak's
Yeah.
gonna take. Tarak is actually like immediately grabs that newer looking lute and goes and tries it out expertly. That's
This is
gonna
And I'm
bad.
be
gonna just
Ragnar is
like, kind
about
of
to be
like test
the-
mine too.
he's about to be the wise one in the group. It's bad.
Also, is there like a stage in this like bar or no?
There's not, but like upon handing out these instruments, Danica's making quick work to clear off the bar so you guys can hop up there as she kind of sees
Alright.
the inevitable happening in front of her.
I'm sorry, we're just going with it right now.
DeLuca creeps out from the corner of the kitchen into the doorway to see what's going on.
Can I roleplay as drunken soft?
Oh my god, yes please.
Okay,
Please
I can't
do.
do it
Drum.
with the accent though.
He grabs the drum.
Okay.
Tarak's just gonna follow you.
Vallaki, here we come, brave, clever, and then some. Adventurers of maximum boldness, whose resumes show that we are just seen to bloom where others wither away, building up a head of steam on the trail we blaze. Ooh, way out. And then it just continues. She's just rocking out. She's just feeling herself right now.
Oh
I
yeah.
applaud that.
Beautiful.
As a
Yeah.
person, I applaud that.
Erwin's just applauding in the background.
Way to go.
Yep, you should have been a bard.
That's really good.
On top of that
Really
wonderful
good.
performance, roll performance, and anybody who wants to throw any kind of assistance on this can as they're cheering and jeering for their fellow party
Wait,
member.
Do I get another additional +5 being drunk?
I'm gonna say you're +5 on charisma, and then whatever performance bonuses your party members can offer you. Everybody,
Okay.
everybody who's applauding
That's
can
a lot
throw
of bonuses.
their performance check on top of this one.
I was drumming. I was drumming along to help.
I'm gonna use my lute, and because I am actually proficient in lute, my actual instrument.
No, I do.
So,
Yeah, there we go.
That's gonna
18
be-
on the drum to help her.
wow, I rolled a nat 1.
You suck at that.
I
You're
am
the most
14.
Wow, the drunkenness has not been good on me. Wow.
Ragnar's into it.
Well, I see a dirty 21 there from all the bonuses on top of that. This is probably one of the best performances that they have seen. And had Izek been around for this, I think he would have been wowed to want this to be what you displayed as your skill or ability to display in the festival. But in that regard, at the finish of your performance, Erwin kind of makes that suggestion. He's like, "My lady, please take no offense. You are one of the finest archers I have seen in the time I have walked these lands. But that was the best performance I have ever heard in all of my life. You must give the people of Vallaki this gift of your voice. You must sing for them at the festival. I will speak with Izek on your behalf personally. And for the record, Izek eats supper at 6 p.m. He's just a bit cranky."
Yeah.
That's good to know. And you know what? Perhaps she kind of giggles like drunkenly and kind of like stumbles a little bit. I imagine as she gets down from the stage. Like perhaps I could do both. You know, like maybe in the afternoon I could do archery, and in the morning I could like sing something. I don't know.
A duo threat you are, of course. I would recommend both. You will gain favor with that voice of yours.
But thank you, you guys. She like goes to like I guess group hug the party, and like her breath just smells like mead, and her face is like red.
Well, mine smells like apples.
That's great.
It's just a mix of the mead, honeyed mead apples, and then whatever the stench of the stout ale.
Ragnar's got some gravy and potato smell in and around his face area.
And some natural Kragnar smell.
Yeah, with earthy, sweaty plus potatoes and steak.
Getting Stetson tones.
Yeah, exactly. You could bottle that. It's not that bad, really. Oh, hey, so where can we buy stuff like weapons here?
How far in the afternoon are we?
Yeah, where do adventurers go to equip themselves in this town?
No, it's probably early afternoon, maybe late
Perfect.
morning, I would say.
Perfect.
I always want to say something about the sun and then just shut up immediately when I'm in Barovia.
The sun is high
You can't
behind
see it,
the clouds. All right, perfect. Sounds like a good time to go and get that alcohol out of it, get that delicious meat out of our system, and digest that absolutely fantastic food we just got. I have to inquire first, my dear, my sir innkeeper. I haven't gotten your name yet. Terribly sorry.
Erwin. Erwin is my name. Erwin Martikov. He puts his hand out to shake
Erwin.
yours.
Derek eagerly shakes his head. I have to ask, and he twirls a little bit of the lute in his hands like, this is a fine instrument. Is there any way I could possibly buy it off your hands?
This was long time gift from traveler. I think he was Vistani, wasn't he, Danica? He looks over at Danica. He looks at you, Tarak. Something about Tarak always seems to win people over. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
All right. Come on, dice. No ones this time.
When you're drunk.
Oh, that's going to be a dirty. So that's going to be a 25.
Maybe you show him the course of dust that lies on the instrument that has since been brushed off from you playing it. And he looks at you and says, "You know what? An instrument should be in the hands of an artist. There are no artists here. I'll tell you what. You take it, so long as you convince your friend to sing in the festival." He smiles, almost like gaming that that's not really a condition of the deal, but that he'd hope you'd do so for him.
So, I will definitely attempt my best at making sure you have a great show. Definitely, I will talk to her.
You're getting the sense that Erwin Martikov has a general care for his fellow citizens, and much like Baron Vargas Velakovich, who claims to be this idealistic leader who wants to bring joy and happiness back to the dismal state of Vallaki. He like Erwin embodies that. You know, you can kind of tell that the townspeople are drawn to him. The bar patrons respect him and like him. And he's an easy guy to like, almost so much so that you sort of doubt. I don't know if you guys feel this way. Maybe I'm very pessimistic and jaded, but when there's that person who's just super likable, you're like, they've got bodies in their basement.
Or a super sad backstory, like
Right.
whole family dead.
Right. Something about them is driving that just whimsical, mythical kindness and general amiability. But as I make note of that, let's take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back in just 5 here. And you guys go get a drink, do your bathroom thing, do what you need to do. I'll see you shortly.
Okay. See you in a bit.
All
Yeah.
right. I managed to get an instrument. Yay!
Look at you.
I was.
figured if you're gonna need it.
I was a
bard without an instrument.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I just got bard and I got no instrument. I got the looks, but I was missing the tool.
Yeah, like you can't even use bardic inspiration without it.
I was a fudged at using my mimicry, but it's just not the same.
Does it make you wait for bardic inspiration, or or do you have it?
Oh, I do have it already.
Okay.
And right now, I'm probably going to go with right now I don't have any specializations. You got to wait until level 3 for bards.
Right.
Probably going to go either. I'm thinking valor instead of swords, because valor lets me give you my inspiration dice can be added to your damage dice.
Which one? Which dice?
Damage and attack. You can decide which one you want to use it for.
Oh, right.
So that's going to be interesting. And I've used the magical, so you can use even for spells too. You can use it for that.
Yeah, I've got my 3rd level spells scribed already. Oh, well, that was an accident. Did not mean to roll that.
What the heck, dude?
What, are you jealous of my good rolls?
I haven't rolled anything yet.
I haven't rolled anything bad tonight, but I haven't rolled very many times either.
I think me and Artemin are about to have a moment outside.
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys are going to have to do that. Sorry. You missed the whole performance.
I sure did.
You'll get your chance.
I missed the rolls of everyone being drunk too.
Yeah, the drunk part. Just gotta. Maybe we're gonna have to try to get rid of that. They're good, but it's bad too when you're starting to be dumb in front of the guy like Isaac.
Drinking water. Drink all the water.
Drink none of the water. Me and you still gotta have a moment outside.
That's
who's having a moment outside?
That's what I was thinking too when we come back from the break. Because for sure, at this point, the follower of the Raven Queen needs to have a talk with the dead guy. And I'd say for sure he's loose-lipped enough now, thanks to the wine, to get through what is assuredly going to be a slightly awkward conversation.
Well, we've had the singing party. Now let's get to the more serious talk, I guess.
I feel like all conversations with Aaron are awkward.
If it's
Yeah,
part
but-
of the character.
Trust and believe. This is like an inquisitor who is about crushing the undead. Basically, like, hey, what are we gonna do about this?
I'm back. Hello.
Yeah,
Whatever.
every time you want more ideas, you come to us druids. We'll show you. You educated casters.
I'm an uneducated caster, so I'll probably come to a lot of you for a lot of advice all the time.
I sing songs for my spells. You got nothing on me.
I once had a bard who sung every time he did a spell cast.
Oh, I'm gonna take some notes. If I ever do a vicious mockery, I am definitely gonna have some lines jotted down, just ready for this.
Some preconceived lyrics.
I really
Oh, no,
like
did
that song, like "Fuck You." You know, like "Fuck you very, very much." That's so awesome.
A bardic inspiration, do like the Scanlan thing where you have to sing the inspiration.
Gotta
I do
say.
that with like my other character that I play. It's a lot of
Well, if
fun.
we're gonna make her sing, then you have to come up with proper insults.
Yeah, vicious mockery. I'm probably gonna try to have jot something down, like some really like terrible punny ones that are gonna be so amazing.
Is that your face, or did your neck cast Eldritch Blast?
That's exactly that.
Corvus, you feel a tap on your shoulder. Oh, you know what? Let me check first. Is everybody back? I should ask first.
Ragnar back.
I think so.
If you are not back, say I'm not here.
I'm not here.
That one always gets someone. Someone's like, wait a minute. How does that work?
My body's here. My mind, I don't know yet.
My mind's been gone
I'm
for
here,
some
but in a
years.
sense, I am also not here.
I've heard everybody so far, so I'm comfortable thinking everybody's here. But Corvus, you feel a tap on your shoulder. You see a hooded, cloaked figure standing behind you. The hood of his cloak has like a red embroidery around the side of it, or the rim of it, I should say. You can barely make out his face, but a soft voice from under the hood says, "Greetings, traveler. You and your friends strike me as impressive characters. Perhaps you should come for a luncheon at the Lady Wachter house and mansion. It's not far from here, of course. And she would be expecting you within..." He looks at a timepiece that he produces from inside of his vest. Slightly under 2 hours from now. Drinks will be served. Food, perhaps not as good as Erwin's here, but complimentary, of course. The lady wishes to speak with you.
Very well then. We would be happy to hear her out. Just we hope it doesn't prevent our previous engagement with the Burgermaster.
Burger.
Well, he's serving burgers. The lady is more of a luncheon.
What was it?
And if you eat
What was the
burgers
name
for
of the lady?
lunch, I'm sorry. You know what? Let me put it in the chat because if I say it, I don't know if any of you are going to be like, "Oh, that's what he said." Lady Wachter. And specifically, her name is Lady Fiona Wachter.
Yep, I thought you said Watcher.
Like Watcher, but with some letters mixed up in there.
Mm-hmm.
You probably do want to watch her.
But I'll assure the envoy that we have heard
plenty about what's happening in the town, and our party is more than interested in hearing what his lady has to say.
Ah, he lifts a keen eyebrow to this, as though this pleases him greatly. Very well. I should expect you within the next 2 hours. He doesn't offer you the same "don't be late or you miss your opportunity" that Isaac offered.
Yeah, we know he's full of shit. After the conversation, Corvus rejoins the group, and then he will let them know we actually have a prior engagement before our supper, quote unquote.
Very well.
Mm,
And
Do you know?
Corvus tells Tarok about talking to the Lady Walker's envoy.
Okay. And you know this Lady Wachter.
I don't,
Yes.
but I know that there's a lot of. I'm sure the established elite in this town seem to be getting a bit tired of the Baron's mismanagement of the town, if you know what I mean. If we can't get along with the Baron, it seems like we may have another option.
I have heard rumblings of this in Barovia, says Ismark.
I mean, heck, you heard the guard. Even they can barely keep a straight face about it.
Well, we definitely seem to be attracting attention a lot. But if we can gain another ally, that's definitely something that we should look into it. Thank you, my friend. That was a very good thing.
Although it is probably best if we make this engagement without the Baron being any the wiser.
Oh, of course. Maybe some omission of information might be wise, more advisable.
Or at least leave out stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, Kragnar. You're getting smart, my friend.
Yeah. So, I want to shop.
Well, we have 2 hours before we have to meet for the luncheon, so we have some time to shop. Yes.
Yeah. Act's not as effective here as in High Forest. Maybe even armor, although Kragnar not do armor usually.
I trust your nose, Kragnar. I'm sure you could sniff us out to the nearest blacksmith.
Yes. We ready?
Sure.
Who wants to go where? I would like some potions.
I'll tip another gold for the food.
Perhaps
Food.
could we also stop at like a herb, store? Like gather some herbs.
Who knows? Maybe you got
kind
some.
of laughs and says, "We don't acquire our herbs at stores.
Why not?
Because they grow in the forest, and that's where you get them."
Well, you never know. Like perhaps there's like herbs that only grow in towns. I'm not sure.
And probably the
Corvus
Vista.
kind of raises a brow at you and says nothing.
And don't forget, you don't get many things from the outside. Only the Vistani sell it here. So maybe you're gonna get lucky.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Kragnar
All right.
go get weapons and armor. Not know about plants and stuff, but let's go.
I assure you I am capable of finding any plants we may require.
Yes. Strong with nature. We got it. Let's go get some weapons. Shopping!
We'll be
We'll
back
say
soon.
Before we leave this scene, I do believe Aaron and Artemis need to have their moment outside.
Yep,
Yes,
Aaron
please.
and Artemis are still outside, just chilling.
Well,
Yes.
we'll give you some alone time, then.
While y'all party up and talk about blowing your money.
Yeah.
pretty spot on.
So yeah.
This is that
I
point.
believe-
I was gonna say this is that point where you guys have your where you have your moment.
I
Right.
was gonna say
Yeah.
I'd probably walk outside and just come to the side of the building over here and stop.
Yeah, I would say there's probably like some awkward pacing as like all of the sounds in the inn begin to die down, and Artemine just kind of looks at you, says, "You know, I didn't happen to catch your card reading, but by the way you don't eat, by the way you don't sleep, and the smell of you, I didn't just need the gaunt look in your face to know. You say that you have no memory. That must make you different. What do you know of your rebirth?"
I'd say, upon you first walking up to me, my back is to you, and I turn on you suddenly. And initially, you see a pained look through the facade of indifference and not caring, and the stone face that I usually have. Pain for my lost daughter, pain for the memory, and describing her to you. And then it's gone in a flash. And I tell you, there's not much I remember. I remember being in my home, surrounded by men. I remember those men taking my daughter captive. And I remember those men stabbing me in the chest and leaving me for dead. I remember pain and darkness and nothing. And then I remember waking up, alive but not. Finding out in the course of our journey that I am no longer a human, but I am undead.
In the midst of his dialogue, two brutish but handsome-looking hunters come walking up to the Blue Water Inn. One of them with a giant boar slung over his shoulder, a beaming smile on his face, revealing a brilliant set of 2 rows of white teeth. And a man that bears a similar resemblance to him behind him, carrying just an absolutely ridiculous amount of weaponry. He looks like a walking arsenal. I mean, there's blades from every inch of his body attached to him somehow. He has a sack of what looks to be weapons, as well as a crate that he appears to be rolling behind him, and he bears the same smile on his face. Everything that he wears is decked out in some kind of fur, and you can identify at least 7 different types of animals on each of them. None of them the same, of course. As he walks by, he being the one with the boar slung over his shoulder, says to both Artemine and Aaron, "Good evening, Misters Elves," and he bows to you in a sarcastic and joking fashion, and then twists, turns, does like a little spin, and walks into the Blue Water Inn. And the man who looks a lot like probably his brother, walking behind him with all the weaponry, simply smiles and shakes his head as his brother, and nods at the 2 elves standing outside of the door, being Aaron and Artemine. Follows his brother inside.
My eyes just shift, but I don't turn my head. I don't nod, I just stare at them. Also, that mini looks familiar.
Shout out to Gavin Rad.
From a campaign long ago.
Wow. By your very nature, you must know that our partnership is tenuous. What is your goal on this plane? What do you seek beyond your daughter? Do you seek balance? Do you seek to live again? Do you seek power?
I just seek the same thing I wanted when I was alive, which is a safe place to raise and care for my daughter. It was the only thing in this world I have left.
But alas, the choice was not made by you. It was made by someone else. And that choice cannot be unmade. I will help you achieve your goal, but you must beseech the Raven Queen's permission. Only she can decide if you will continue to exist. I beseech you, should you truly wish to live again with your daughter, find it in your heart to answer to her call.
I stare at you for a long moment and just, you can kind of see the gears turning in my head. And then finally I say, if it means I can live a normal life and raise my daughter, if we're able to find her in safety, in seclusion, then so be it.
I pray her judgment be in your favor, friend. Come, let us rejoin the others.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Glad you guys had your moment.
Hell yeah.
And as you guys are probably now fitting to go into town, get geared up, acquire those many things that are, I'm sure, on your wish and want lists, this seems like a good place to wrap for the session and put the rest of that in RP. How I usually do this, guys, I love to do this stuff in RP chat instead of in-game because shopping can just chew up a session very quickly. But I will be responsive throughout the week if you guys want to throw into RP chat where you're going, what you're doing, what you're looking for, all that fun stuff. I'm happy to play along as well as be extremely flexible with the shops and stuff that you'd be searching for. Dan pointed out very aptly that Vistani would probably be. I think Dan pointed this out. If it was someone else, I'm sorry, I'm giving Dan credit. But Vistani would be your place to get things from the outside realm and things that are rare and strange. And though herbs and things like that are acquired naturally in the forest, you would be able to purchase them in quantities from local markets and things like that. But the local markets of Vallaki aren't like stores. There's not like an armor and weapon store. If they have a blacksmith, he's probably hanging out in the open doing his things, and he probably travels from town to town. So you may find it's not so classical in the sense of a D&D town in that respect. But if you want to throw in, like I said, in RP chat what you're looking for, I am happy to play ball with you from the RP perspective and just roll through it all week long. I know some people said they really enjoy the RP chat. I'm happy that is the case. I really enjoy reading it and seeing you guys input in there. So keep it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. The general consensus tonight, I think, was role play was hardcore. I've said it. There's depth in lots of the characters in Vallaki. I think I figured out how much depth there is in all the characters that I'm playing with right now, and got a surprise for myself. So nice job to everybody for that. Pretty awesome session in my perspective.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, I lost power for about 40 minutes, but I was able to hear the majority of it while I was gone, at least.
That's shocking because it seemed like you didn't miss a beat, man. But
Well,
that does stink. There's been a plethora of power issues for my players lately, and me. So I've had my own power
it stormed.
issues.
It wasn't you.
Well, I'm just glad to say I didn't give someone a technical disease of some kind.
Well, if you did, it's in my electrical box.
Power outages have just been rampant. I play with another group Thursdays. They're folks out in Texas. They were having problems with their power, and then another group or another party member who lives far away from Texas. I'm not sure where. I'm pretty sure he lives Pacific time. Had a power outage randomly, like an hour and a half, 2 hours after that. So power in the States seems a little weird. I hope our friends in Canada are having better luck with power.
Oh, we're getting tornadoes now.
Yeah.
Tornadoes, smoke.
How are you doing right now? Because you're in Montreal, aren't you?
Yeah, we got a small one. It was pretty far from my house, though.
Oh, that's
Damn, what
good.
y'all gonna get next? A freaking earthquake and a tsunami?
That'll probably
Gosh.
happen up in BC, honestly.
You're guys, Canada right now is like the environment is like the worst setting of Sim City when things are going wrong. You're just gonna have a Godzilla walking around pretty soon. Exactly.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's becoming the North American Australia.
without the spiders, we just got large moose
Well,
instead.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I think Philippines takes the cake for having unfortunate and rough weather, like of all time. But yeah, lately Canada's just been having some really unlucky and unfortunate geographical and I guess natural events, natural disasters. Which, yeah, wish all of you guys safety and the best in those areas, and hope that doesn't affect you in a negative way.
Oh, we should be fine. We're tough people. I had a question. I was looking over my notes earlier regarding shopping. We did get some treasure out of the death house. Did we ever pick that up? Did everybody note that down? We
I
had
was
a
not
jewelry
there for
box.
I still have it.
Okay, so you're the one who
Yep.
picked it up.
Yeah.
All right. All right,
He-
good to know.
He is now your bank.
That's it. So
Ooh.
Dan, you're now the bank guy. You got
We
volunteered.
need to acquire cart.
Well, you each came with 150, and we made 750 in that death house.
All right.
So, if you want some simple math, there it is.
You've been voluntold the banker of the group.
Well, not
I
much
have-
to bank so far. That's about it.
Does that
I
include
have
me?
a
I was
group
there for the
of
half,
doc
second
data.
half.
I want to say, just for the sake of fairness, we're gonna say you guys can have equivalent gold. So those of you that didn't get to partake in the death house or partook in half of it, you can also have that denomination. From a story perspective, one of you does not have any gold. You know who you are. That is gonna stick. If these people give you gold, like here's some gold to spend, completely different story. So I'll let you work that. You work that to your favor, and or shoot me a message or hit me up and let me know. Mainly, just want to give you an opportunity to get something if you want to get something. All right.
All right.
Well, thanks all for another great
Great,
session.
yeah.
I'll catch you next week, and I will catch you in the RP chats where you attempt to persuade me to give you stuff cheaper than you find it in the PHP.
Fuck, that's gonna be interesting.
I might have to take your advice about the Vistani for magical services.
I just want to say, all of you still have your +5 on your charisma checks, then all of you also still have your disadvantage on your intelligence and your wisdom for the extent of your shopping experience. And luckily, I think you'll sober it up enough by the time you go to meet Lady Wachter. But for those of you perusing the marketplace, don't give in to any of those people handing out free beverages, or you may not be fit at the Lady Wachter's house.
Yeah. Gonna not leave Imelda alone, that's for sure.
No, Imelda is like flying
right.
around. She's in her element right now.
She's
She's
preached
like,
us in.
Like she's
She's gonna end
constantly
up being
reminding
the pop
herself
star
to
of
not
Barovia.
cast druidcraft to make flowers and plants burn.
Don't cast magic. Don't cast magic.
Yeah, that
You're
is
gonna
another
end up
reason.
being the pop
That is
star
another-
of stars in this world, and Strahd is just gonna hate it.
Yep. So that's another reason why you're not staying alone 1 second, Imelda, is you not casting any freaking
Imagine-
magic.
Imagine if he performed
Strahd's
in
gonna be
starry
like,
form.
no, he's making people too happy. Damn it! We have to put a stop to this.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna do like a freaking K-pop
How
band.
can I make everybody miserable? Damn it! This is getting harder.
We're gonna do a dance routine, and then the sun's gonna come out from behind the clouds.
Yeah.
I'd also
Stars show themselves for the first time in a generation.
just like to lastly throw a thank you out to two individuals. I will mention you after this gets revealed, but you have inspired me tonight with your words, given me some good ideas, and it's going to pertain to your characters. How fitting.
Nice.
Again, thanks all for a great night, and I'll catch y'all next week. I'm about to hop off.